It only takes a little bit
of
white brainwash to activate the cool chip in the average Negro.
This is reasonable. Not yet. We got you.
Yes, sir.
Now.
This is the ignorant shit you like.
I am.
What is this, a thing?
This is the ignorant shit you like. This is the ignorant
Michael
shit you like.
Jackson.
A 9 chasing a chicken. Bombs.
Day 26.
Sound guy look like the mad scientist over there hitting on him. Yeah. Look at him, Mark.
I'm watching. He's showing his ass right
now. Did he pass out water with ice?
Bombs. I got you. All right. Reasonable Ignorance Podcast.
Turn it to wine.
We're back. This is our 10th year that we've been podcasting. Hand claps to that.
Year 10.
Started off with Magic Mike 10 years ago. Over the years, we have expanded. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to Kyle. Delcia. Coach Moses. B. Abel. And Jeff the Illis. At the Cloudy's Nick also. And my main man, Dino the Great. Podcast people have come and gone, but you know, we're still here 10 years later. We took a good couple of weeks off in June because of weather, because of other factors going on, and life factors, graduations and proms and all this other kind of shit and everything. But tonight we're back. This is the last Thursday of the month. Be remiss to say before we get started with our show tonight, special moment of silence for Walter Scott from the Whispers.
Oh yeah.
82 years old. He went back to the ancestors today. One half of the Whispers, along with his brother Scotty Walter, and I want to, that was my.
I grew up on them.
You grew up on the Whispers?
I know, yeah. That was my mother's favorite group.
Really?
Yeah.
Same here.
Every song.
Every song? Same here. Same here.
Hey,
Same
Scotty.
Here. Yeah. The Whispers is one of my favorite old school groups. I know a lot of people like the Mays and Frankie Beverly. They like Isley Brothers. They like
Bodine.
They like who they like. Shout out to Tino Bodine. Hand claps to him. They like who they like and everything, but when it came down to it, Whispers know how to talk the woman out they draws. If you understand what I'm saying.
I don't.
Bombs. Hey, once again, if go down to the of course you know how the algorithm moves in today's society in 2025. Go listen to the Whispers. The Whispers. Shout out to Walter Scotty and Scotty Walter and the rest of the guys that's there. I think there's only one left.
No, it's two.
It's two left?
Yeah.
It's two left? Okay.
They just performed, and it's crazy. Just performed last week, just them two.
Scotty and Walt? Where?
Scotty and the light-skinned guy with the glasses.
Really?
Yeah. That was weird watching that.
Where were they performing
at? Somewhere in one of those summer festivals. It was just them two.
Just them two.
Yeah. And the saxophone player jumped in.
Sadness.
Shit. Next would be the Levert OJs.
They on deck, huh?
Hell yeah. You seen Eddie Levert lately?
No.
Turtle.
Damn.
Ron Isley, the only one that's still walking around the cane still looking
that
good.
That nigga live in a chamber.
Bombs.
He live in the chamber.
Leave in the chamber, huh?
Yeah. Ron Isley live in the chamber.
Tonight we are joined by a guest who I've been chasing down for the last month or so. We've been trying to coordinate schedules. She's seen the podcast and what we've been doing on the podcast on TikTok. I'm still getting inclined with TikTok. Because, Twitter's my go-to. You know what I'm saying? It's for everything. But TikTok is where it's at. I got a couple of messages from her. I've been knowing her for like damn near 30 years. 30 plus years now. But we are tonight joined by Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor. Hand claps.
Hand claps. Hand claps.
Hit the politics, please. Turn it up.
Politics as usual.
Even though that is Coach Mo's prompt, Coach Mo is here. Hit it again, please. Yes.
Politics as usual.
You listen to rap, huh?
I do.
Okay.
I can't listen to this new rap though.
You can't listen to Playboy Cardi?
Not this new stuff, huh?
There is only one song that kind of moves me, and
Sexy Red.
P2O. Hell no. That child need to go sit down somewhere and get us some G. Put that pussy on me.
Hey, that's hard though.
You ain't never heard of it. It's my favorite. It's a lot of stuff I can't listen to, but that's my cut.
You like Big Boogie, huh?
Man,
I wouldn't expect her to say that. I was thinking she was gonna say.
I was not either.
Shit.
What are y'all two listening to on the way here? What are y'all listening to?
Big Boogie fan over here.
Big Boogie, huh?
So they literally have a playlist for me that I listen to, and so of course No Time by Lil Kim, just really old school hip hop, not this new mumbling shit they do. I can't get used.
Terrible.
It is. It's like, do y'all know that Ice Cube is educated? Do you know these rappers went to school? Like, get a dictionary or an encyclopedia or some shit. And I just don't understand. And maybe it's Gen X. I just don't understand. I try to, but no. So it ain't a lot of that new stuff I listen to. I like old school.
Mm-hmm. So okay, hold on. At Be Able is here, my main man Be Able is here. What up? At the Cloudies is here on PTO, but is here in spirit.
We the black kids and the white gold.
Yeah.
We the black kids and the white gold. We the black kids and the white gold. We the black kids and the white gold.
In spirit also, but not here tonight, PTO at Dino the Great. Somebody's a Future fan over there.
I'm that nigga.
Alderwoman Taylor's staff is here in the back, and he's back there rocking to that Future right there. Jeff the Illest in spirit, PTO. Jeff the Illest.
Is that new? Is that new?
What?
That his
he been playing that. He came up with that one.
Oh, okay.
I don't have one yet. I still don't have one. Hit the wham. Horn sound.
Whoa. Yo.
That's why she's here.
Yeah.
Oinky.
I'm trying to keep it professional in here. Got a community organizer.
That's wild as hell.
He gonna,
she don't need to know
I know who sound guy gonna find for your prop. I already know.
God damn. Hey, Miss Bell. That's crazy.
Shout out to Katrissa Bell. Jessica, shout out to Jessica Star Wright, Annika McClary, everybody that's in the Reasonable Ignorance fan page. Please come be a part of the fan page, Reasonable Ignorance Podcast on Facebook, the fan page. Check us out on on TikTok, Reasonable Ignorance Podcast.
We got a mix tonight?
I don't know.
You got a mix tonight?
Mix? Okay.
Good. No, that's good because we get to talk tonight.
Okay, cool.
Let me rewind. Rewind again. Hit that politics as usual, please.
Get right into it.
Politics as usual.
Now, I've known you've been on a couple of podcasts before from years ago and everything, and doing my research and everything. So this is not like the podcast that you've been on. We talk shit. We go there. We ask tough questions. We do a lot of laughter. A lot of jokes get thrown, sarcasm, wit, all that kind of stuff like that. So I want you to be comfortable while we pod and everything. But let's start. What made you really interested in politics?
I wasn't. I was a teen mother. By the time I was 19, I had 3 kids. And so trying to just figure out how to be a mother, and I was growing up with my kids. And so I would always advocate at the school because my mother was a clerk. My father was a cab driver, and my mother was a clerk for Chicago Public School. And so when my baby went to school, my mother was like, you got to get on the PTA and the LSC. And I was like, y'all a bunch of old ladies that complain and bake cookies. I ain't really interested in that. But I had to do it because my mother made me do it. Mm-hmm. And so they would designate me to go to these meetings, and I would hear elder black folks talk about young people in ways that didn't reflect who I was and what I was trying to do in my life. And so I would challenge them in these meetings. And eventually I applied to get my own place. I was on the CHA wait list for 30 years. But in those times when me searching for a life for my kids, I wound up just organizing. And I didn't call it organizing. I knew all the parents at the school. I went to school with a lot of them. And I could get them to come to meetings, and I could get them to advocate for their kids when it wasn't popular and was called a welfare queen. It wasn't popular for women who were not educated, and I graduated from night school. And I went to Dawson Tech to get a certificate. So not college educated, but I knew that I had more common sense, and I was closer to the street and what was really happening in our community than they were. And so I was never scared to go in those rooms and talk with people and say what it is that young mothers needed. We went to Dunbar. At Dunbar, I was on the LSC and didn't even know it. I just knew my mama friend said I had to go to these meetings once a month. And I would tell them as a teen mother, they didn't have things in place for me. I couldn't stay after school. I couldn't hang out with everybody when I got to school. I had to go home and raise my kids. And so once my 3, because I got 5 kids, my 3 oldest kids kind of got in the groove, got in school, I started to talk to other parents because I started to realize that our communities was changing, but it wasn't changing for us. They were bringing in people. And so imagine living in a community where you see all these lots, we own the homes, and then the Olympics came and people sold their buildings, they sold their homes. And so our whole community changed. And like we were the last, because my grandmother had these 2 6 units. We were the last family there. Everybody else had sold and left. And so when those condo owners came in, they hated us because we used to go to the Bud Billiken Parade. Everybody in the community knew us. They used to come hang out with us, and they hated. And what they started to do was call the city so that our building could get tickets. And so after they ticket the building so much, they lost one of the buildings and they wind up selling the other ones. And so I was displaced, and I wind up being displaced to Woodlawn. And I don't think what people realize about Woodlawn was the place where when they knocked down the housing projects that would actually accept those folks and their vouchers. And so I wind up in Woodlawn. And when I got to Woodlawn, they started talking about the Obama Presidential Center, and I was going to get displaced again. And so in the same time, I'm organizing when the school closes in 2015, the largest school closing ever in United States history. And I wind up going on a hunger strike for Daya High School because my babies was getting ready to graduate. Daya was an option for her, but for a lot of young people in these schools that they've been closing for years, there were no options. And so after going on a hunger strike, I didn't want to organize no more because the city of Chicago treated us like shit. They had people come fight us while we were on a hunger strike. They would actually pay people to barbecue while we were on a hunger strike.
Wow.
They would send protesters. Wow. Like, it was real heartbreaking. And I was like, how is the city where I pay taxes and I vote and I do what I'm supposed to do mistreat me? And I saw black electeds ignore us on a hunger strike. Like, I remember getting into it with Walter Burnett, and I told him, I'm going to put you in the trunk of a car. And I don't drive, so.
Hit it!
Yeah, he is. He real short. But yeah, at that time, because I felt like black electeds had ignored us, and they haven't come to our rescue. And so, after I got out the hunger strike, I'm like, I'm going to run for alderman. And it was just a thought in my mind. It wasn't, I didn't think I was going to win. I'm a mother of 5. I had been married twice by this time. I was not what a regular politician was, but I was also honest about who I was and what I was bringing to the table. And a year before the election in 2018, I was knocking doors and asking people what did they want from an elected official. And so when it was time to do those debates, I was in a race with 21 people, larger than the mayor's race at that time. And I would clear those rooms. Those people like, I got you. It came down to me and a young lady named Nicole Johnson. Nicole Johnson graduated from the University of Chicago. She was born and raised in Inglewood. She had her stuff together, and I just didn't think I had a chance. But I'm a Taurus woman. I'm a bull. I fight the fight. And I wind up winning. And so I became Alderwoman, and this is my second term. And so one of my mentors said to me, you might not get into politics, but politics is getting to you. It decides where you live. It decides what your community is like. It decides what institutions are going to serve you. It decides how much you make. And so knowing that, who is advocating for the average mother, the average father, the average people in our community to say, no, that's not quite what we need, or that's not what we want, or this is what we need. You don't have people like that, because a lot of politicians, that has been passed down to them generationally. They've adopted it from their family, or they grew up in politics. I was nothing like any of the other folks. And so I went into it with, I'm going to be my authentic self, and that's who I am in this space. And so.
Hand claps.
So for our listeners, it's the 20th ward, right? Can you let them know, like, what is that demographic, 20th ward?
So 70% of the ward is African American.
And what side of town is that?
That is the south side of Chicago. It's Woodlawn, Washington Park, back of the yard, New City, Motown, for those who know. I represent some of Inglewood, some of Fuller Park, some of some of Fuller Park. And so I got a very diverse ward. Wards are written.
Damn, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
But you got to have 50,000 people. And if you think about some of my ward, Norfolk Sutherland, which is the largest railroad in the country, has taken out part of that ward, or have they bought it up and build railroads. And so you have to either move south or move north, because every ward is made of 50,000 people.
Okay.
You grew up where?
Low end. Y'all call it Bronzeville now. You know, when you gentrify shit, you give it a fancy name. So that's where I grew up. 45th and Calumet. Low end, all day, every day.
All day, every day.
Yep, midlife.
Okay, so now paint the picture for people that's not from Chicago. You said 45th and Calumet. 47th Street is a very famous street for.
So really, black metropolis, black place. We own the institutions. You got black schools. You black millionaires that live down King Drive. We used to have the oldest African American funeral home there. What else? You had the Met Theater. You had the Regal Theater at some point that was there. You had Strickland Pharmacy that was black owned. You had Gladys's that wasn't that far from where I lived.
One Stop.
Yep, One Stop was on 43rd and Lake Park, other side. You had 200 Liquors that's still been there. It's been there forever. You had Tony's, which was who is still alive and runs a business there. And so you had a community where we own the institutions, and the majority of the people who live in the community look like us. And so going from that to like looking at what these communities look like now, you know, it's not 80-90% black. It's probably more like 60-50% black, because now folks who don't look like us want to live in our communities because we're not that far from the lake. We have Washington Park, which is the biggest park in the city of Chicago. I get to represent, and so we got a lot of beautiful things. And my ward is adjacent to where they're building the Obama Presidential Center, and so that also plays a role in the gentrification that's going on in our community right now.
So the Brownsville, it wasn't called Brownsville back.
No, it was the low end.
It was low end.
It was the low end. Yep, low end and no end. Yep.
Low end. Now, for those that haven't never been to Chicago, sometimes when y'all come to visit, you only stay downtown, or you only venture out just a certain part. But Brownsville starts where, or low end starts where?
Probably from Cermak on to, it depends. Like really to 95th Street, but Bronzeville is really from now. It used to be 35th Street on back to like 55th. It's kind of considered that. But it depends on who you talk to, what historian you talk to, who you work with. State to the lake, hell.
Yeah.
Now, just to give you in our conversations prior to her coming on to the podcast, she said she had never been on the West Side before, or not familiar with the West Side. Now, Coach is a West Sider, born and raised West Side.
So I'm one generation from the West Side. My family, my mother grew up on Spalding, and my cousins and them still live in the Village, and so they lived in 1440. So they still live over there. Different dynamics. There are more Latinos over that area now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't really have no problem with the West Side.
Why you take a deep breath like that?
Because West Side Illinois is different. Y'all crackheads is different. Y'all liquor stores is different. Y'all a little different than us. Like let's call it what it is. I know disrespect.
The liquor stores is different?
Yes, they are.
What's the difference between the Rothschild on the West Side and the Rothschild on the South Side?
Y'all are still cups of liquor over there. We try to keep it to 40 ounces in bottles. It's a little different. Just a little different.
Is that
I
true?
call it West Side Illinois. That's what I call it.
Is that the true, brother? I've never heard of West Side Illinois. Is that true, brother?
Well, she might not be lying. She's not far off from,
Okay.
Okay.
Listen, I don't care. I'm going to go where my people want me to go.
Yeah. The West Side is Mississippi,
come to the West Side one day.
Mississippi, Illinois.
Take you around. Let me be your tour guide on the West Side.
I'm good.
You're gonna eat good.
I'm good.
You're gonna eat good though.
You definitely listen.
I'm gonna take it to what's her name first? What? Uncle Remus.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm gonna bring you some Harold's while you playing that shit. No, don't do it. don't do it.
I like Uncle Remus better than Harold's. I'm from the
don't. We had one, right there on 47.
And what happened to it?
Because it was nasty.
That ain't shit.
The one on 47?
It wasn't good at all.
Hey, that one on 47 was there for years, though.
Ricky should have stayed.
Is that in your ward?
No.
Okay.
That's in the 4th ward. No,
gotcha,
it was in my ward.
I
had a Harold's chicken that was good. I was like, do y'all throw the chicken on the floor or something? This damn chicken is addictive and good. But it got burned down, and so of course we all go to the one at High Park. It is one on 55th Street.
And what's going on with that one? What's the issue?
It ain't really no issue. I go to that one. Hell, it take them 95 hours because they got somebody grandma auntie in there, and she take forever.
Which one is that?
That's the one. That's the one on 55th and Calumet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it take her forever.
I just see a sign up there.
It is one.
An orange sign up there or a green sign or something.
That it was closed.
Yeah.
It could have been. Shit, I won't be shocked. The chicken was still good.
Will you speak about the Be Able's from the Wild Hunters?
The
Hundos and everything. So just to give you, everybody background, Chatham over here. But with that being said, painting the picture for the low end back then, you did mention Gladys's. You mentioned everything about 47th Street. On 51st, there used to be a Harold's right there, right next to the L.
Down the street from the Barber College.
Which used to be the club right there, the lounge club right next to the L on 43rd Street.
Versus?
Versus?
It was Versus. Then it was the Negro League.
Yeah, the Negro League Cafe.
Yeah, it's been a bunch of things.
Negro League.
I've been there.
My father was a cab driver at Versus.
Okay. Is Versus still there? Or they tore it down?
The buildings is still there. It's not Versus anymore.
It's not Versus no more. All right.
No.
You familiar with Alice's? Of course, I know.
Absolutely, I am.
All right.
I still go get a double cheeseburger on toast. Absolutely.
Yeah, that man. I see.
Can't get it from nowhere.
Had that. Remember I said you had that toaster right there by the register, man. I was like, damn.
Yep.
Pop it.
A steak burger
Nothing
on
like
toast.
on toast.
What? Yeah, man. I saw that. I was like, yeah, I fucks with them.
Be careful though.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Still a low end.
So you've been an alderwoman for you've been in politics and alderwoman for 8 years. But
Ain't been 8 years, not yet. I'm in my second term, so each term is 4, and I'm on my second term. So I'm in
you said 17, right? Or 18? Which one?
No, I
18.
said 6 years. It's been 6 years.
It's been 6 years. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been organizing since I was 19. So,
Right.
and that's just not what I called it. I'm like, this how you get people together here. That's how you get your relatives together for the family reunion. So it never felt like organizing to me. You know, when they see people doing their greatest, they find a name to put into it. So it's easier for white supremacy to connect to.
Politics is a dirty game.
Absolutely, it is.
Politics is a dirty game. So many different ways that you can attack the whole politics. It could be positive and it could be negative, right?
Absolutely.
Politicians have a real bad stereotype put on them. We talking
For a good reason.
We're talking previous you, prior to you, and post you, and current, whatever.
So everybody that's ever sat in my seat went to jail. So every
Did it?
alderman of the
God
20th
damn.
ward has been to jail.
Yeah, that's about right.
Wow.
Every last one of them.
Same charges?
Most of the times, yes.
Yeah.
This conversation that we have amongst each other about them buying politicians and passing, that happens. It's true. If you're not, and so when I got into this, I was in my 40s. And I'm like, God, why would you wait till I'm in my 40s to have me do
You're
this?
still in your 40s, right?
I'm 50.
Okay, go ahead.
Why did you wait until I was in my 40s? And he said to me, you weren't humble. And I know what he means, because when I go places, they roll out the red carpet for me. It ain't nothing these people haven't. I've been offered homes, gym shoes, money, you name it. They offer it to you just so that they can get a contract or get in the works of how the city works. And I'm not doing that. If you
Rewind. Here we go. Let's get to it now.
So everything we've seen on the wire is true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
With the aldermen and alderwomen.
Or think about good times. Remember
All the
pension?
day.
Yeah. That's true. That those things happen. And if you're not humble, if you don't have a good team, if you don't have people who pull you back, you'll fall into it. And I always say everybody got a price. I ain't special, but I do too. My price just comes with paying my whole community. You got to buy us all out. You just can't buy me.
You said you've been offered gym shoes.
Jordans. Yep.
Come on now, Chicago.
yeah.
This Chicago.
Absolutely.
I would turn that shit down.
Of course you
immediately.
would.
I'm an Adidas guy.
But if they offer you
We
some
know
James
that.
Hardens, what you doing?
You gonna grab them, B.
No. So, but it ain't worth it though. When you got people who
grab 'em.
calling you saying they don't know where they go because the landlord didn't raise the rent. Think about those families who was living in that building on 61st and King Drive. They've been living with holes in the ceiling where they can see up to the next apartment because they can't afford or have never moved out of the hood. And so it's not worth it what it costs. And I know what folks have done to make sure that black folks can be in this system at all. And so I'm not gonna give that up because of my own ego or because the prize look wonderful. I'd rather struggle and get a link card than to sell my people out.
You're saying you've been offered homes.
Yep.
You've been offered homes. Of course, money.
Yep.
You've been offered other things besides.
Jewelry, trips, you name it, it's been offered to me.
Okay. Now, you grew up in the district. I need to go back for a second. You grew up in the area in which. You give me the drum roll, please. I don't want you to say that. Don't tell a person. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Go ahead.
She grew up in the 45th and Calumet. Now you know who the Alderwoman was back then. Do you take a guess?
Who, Dorothy Tillman?
Hit it!
Yeah, I couldn't stand them, man. I used to get into it with their son all the time, Benji.
I went to school with him.
When they was running the Harold Washington Culture Center, yeah, me and him used to get into it all the time.
You remember Dorothy Gators? Not Dorothy Gators, I'm sorry. Do you remember Dorothy Tillman?
Oh, absolutely.
I couldn't stand
my daughter works for
Say it again. Say it again.
Her hat wearing phony ass.
No, put the emphasis on the stand.
I can't stand that boy, man.
Pop it. Hey, you grew up in that area, in that era. You grew up in that area and era.
Yep.
She was a shit talker.
She did, and she talked a lot of shit about helping black people, but she was taking the payout. Let's call it what it is. So we know what she did.
Yeah.
She talked black all day long. Black contractors, we gonna close these. I remember her kids used to go to Mollison with me. And those parents at that school were the reason why she got elected. And when she got elected, she took her fucking kids out and took them to Beasley. Because Mollison wasn't good enough anymore. Yep. But these are the same people that got your ass in office. So I've always had this thing with her ass. And so she is who she is. But also it's hard for a black woman in politics.
Yeah.
Especially during that era.
Absolutely. Man, listen, I got a respect for her. While I might not like her ass or her politics, and still to this day she talks shit about me, but whatever. She does. She has so much shit to say about me.
When she put Blue 47 down there, that restaurant, that niggas couldn't afford.
It was the Harold Washington. You remember? It was supposed to be called Lou Rawls, but it took so long for them in the bed. Lou Rawls say, take my name off that shit.
That's why that's why they bust that window every week. Every week.
Blue 47 wasn't that bad though. That was a good place.
Yeah, but you live in a neighborhood and all you know is pizza puff, nigga.
Yep.
You can't go in there and pronounce the menu. What the fuck?
You gotta have some kind of elegance though, right?
Yeah, you can't.
But at what cost though?
Yeah.
Who are you doing that for? That's not for the people who live here, who supported your ass, who probably it wouldn't go for me at that time, who probably put their dollars in to get that shit built. Now I can't afford to go there. Who is that for? Those are for the people you're trying to attract. And at the same time you're attracting new people, you're figuring out how to push the folks who live here that you no longer think are worthy out.
How long was she in office for?
Ooh, a long time.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Yeah, she kept getting elected.
They weren't putting Grey Poupon on shit down there. The fuck?
Onions, nigga. You said you couldn't stand. You couldn't stand her at all. You put the emphasis on the word stand. No. You said you couldn't stand.
Stand that boy, man. I was working for who we had? Because I was working for the label, so we did a show. We had De La Soul, Harold Washington Center. So we doing a sound check. So, you know, we meeting, greeting each other, everything. And this long-haired nigga come out of the back and introduce himself. So, okay, cool. But then he started really feeling himself like he owned this motherfucker. And it just became like, what are you here for? We know what we doing.
Right.
The whole time we was at the Harold Washington Culture Center, man, he was just like a bitch.
Hit it.
I couldn't
y'all should have saw how they did Paul Mooney.
I couldn't stand him, man.
How did they do stories?
Oh, Paul Mooney went and they had this thing where they paid for people to go see him backstage. They put him in a car and was supposed to take him to eat. They was taking him to meet their friends. So they was driving him around. And when he got to the show, he was like, I'm never coming back to Chicago. I'm never coming back over here. The motherfuckers who own this, he talked about them bad, but it was a real bad experience for him. And then the last time that he talked about it, he was at a place up north where he had a show, and I went to see him, and he was in his older age, a little bit before he died, and he talked about that experience. He was like, "This why niggas can't own shit," and I was like, "Okay, Paul."
And they used to freak show the granddaughter because she was a genius or some shit.
She's the youngest person with a PhD. Yeah, they honored her at City Hall.
That shit too. Like, can she drive, motherfucker? Like,
she probably can't, but I mean that's amazing for her. But her mother should get the the flowers of that.
Man.
Not her damn grandma.
Yeah, them Tillmans, man. Jesus.
My daughter works for her mother.
Really?
Yeah.
Works with who mother?
Dorothy Tillman's daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How's that experience?
I mean,
Niggas gonna be
put her in
niggas,
the show,
man.
so I mean, hey.
How old is Dorothy Tillman now?
She got to be in her 80s.
Yeah, she gotta be.
She got to be.
But okay,
Oh.
Ned, you got to understand though. Okay, we all were kids when she was in office, right?
Absolutely.
So she had to deal with Verdoliak. I mean, did you do when you got into this politics thing? Did you have to do a deep dive into the years before, during the Washington years? And,
Absolutely.
did you have to do how to deal with this Democratic machine? Because
absolutely, because
you are a Democrat, right?
I am. I'm actually a socialist.
Okay, we're gonna get into that. All right. But Chicago's always been a Democratic blue city.
Absolutely. When I was running, my mentor was a woman named Jay Travis who had ran, and she said to me, because I didn't want to pick a party at all. I didn't want to, but as black folks, if we don't see you a Democrat, we don't vote for you, regardless of who you are.
Hit it.
That's how that's how close we are and how ingrained we are into politics as black people. I don't think people understand that. And so if you're not part of the Democratic Party, they don't care if you're a liberal or a Republican, they won't vote for you. And so I understood that, but also I tell people I'm an independent Democrat. I don't think like they think. I don't like this elitist shit. I don't like this you pass it on to your kids. You got to get in the mud like I got it in the mud. I want you to do the things that I've done to get in that space. And so I just don't believe in it. But that's also why politics hasn't worked for black folks. It's why our communities look the way they look. It's the reason why we don't get the dollars to develop in our community. It's the reason why we're just different. And don't get me wrong, they've had a head start. We built their country for free, and so then we still ain't shit. And so,
okay, pop it. I'm glad you spoke about that. Chicago's always been a Democratic stronghold. In my lifetime, we've never had a Republican mayor, have we?
just so, and that's the problem.
What's the problem?
Just because you say Republican or Democrat don't mean you're not a Republican or a Democrat.
Okay,
Let me make it plain.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Daley was a Republican. He might have said he a Democrat all day long. Look how he carried himself. He cared about nothing but him and his spot. He cared about his image. So Rahm, I'm going to use Rahm. Rahm cared about his national image. He didn't give a shit what black people done. He didn't give a shit what we did. He cared about his image, what they thought about him nationally. Look at the way he vote. Who sells the parking meters for the amount of money they sell? We would not be in debt if they wouldn't have sold the parking meters. But he made the deal because he got the complexion for the protection, and he rose like a Republican. Like, don't get it twisted. Just because, and I say this all the time, and I say this about JB, just because they pay us good to work their elections, to work our community, look at what they do. Look at the ordinances that they pass. Look at the bills they support. Look at the people they pardon. They are not like us. They don't look like us. They are not from our communities. When the hell you ever seen JB fat ass knock a door? You ain't. You don't see them.
So
Same thing.
I take it you don't like JB either.
No, I really don't, because I feel like he uses us at his convenience, and I feel like the next time he runs Juliana, I feel like Juliana is not gonna be. I feel like she's running for this other seat, because if he runs for president like he wants to, she would be next in line, and they don't want a black woman to run. Illinois. Shit, they didn't want a black woman to run the country, which is why we
That's
here.
true. That's
Can you
true.
imagine a black governor, a female in this state?
Man.
Oh, Lord.
Crazy.
But y'all expect us to fix y'all fucked up shit. So
They
like
would-
make it make
okay,
sense.
They would
Okay,
give her
okay.
hell,
Absolutely,
especially
it will.
downstate.
So you saying you're an independent Democrat, right?
Absolutely.
You're an independent Democrat. Mm-hmm. What is the difference between an independent Democrat versus the actual Democrat?
I will go against my own party for the right or wrong reasons. I will say the shit that nobody else will say. I will call out shit that's supposed to be our secrets. When have you ever heard an elected official talk about what really goes on, what's really said, what they really think about us, how they really use our vote? You don't. There's a price to pay for this. Anytime I speak up for black people, I get death threats. Anytime. Anytime. They spray paint on my office and wrote I was Crow and Tail Pro when I first got into office. The amount of shit that I get, even from my own people, is ridiculous. I have a gentleman that's from the Nation of Islam that goes with me to a lot of things because of the death threat. I don't go any place alone. You'll see a lot of the elected officials by themselves. They are not under the same scrutiny that I'm under as a woman. And so you can get CPD to protect. I can get a police detail, but that costs money, and I don't really trust CPD. So.
You don't trust CPD. You don't trust you don't like Pritzker.
JD,
you don't like you say Ramos.
I don't like bitches.
Bullshit.
I don't like niggas. I don't like nobody.
I don't like bar. That's a bar.
It's a bar.
That's a bar.
I didn't think she was gonna curse out like this for real.
She said she a real one. She from the people.
That's true. That's true.
That's what she
true.
said.
That's true.
That's why she got elected.
I want to. Okay. Feel free to come in.
Pause.
Pause.
Don't look at me and say feel free to come in.
You're right.
Don't do
Feel
it. Look
your
at
eyes.
Feel free to interject.
There you go.
There you go.
We do that.
We play the pause game around here. Going back. Once again, I have never seen a Republican mayor, but you said and you don't have to be a declared Republican to do the Republican type things that you have. And you did mention Daley. We all grew up in the Daley years.
Absolutely.
Chicago was beautiful with Daley.
Was it really?
Downtown. I'm talking about downtown State Street wise.
We could not go to Canaryville or Bridgeport. How the fuck is that beautiful?
Who wanted to go there?
First of all, they got good hot dog stands over there. Like don't start acting like Bridgeport didn't have a little. But we couldn't go there. Think about this. You couldn't be over there past 7 o'clock. You really was sundown in an urban city.
Hit it. That's true.
Rico Beans is my spot.
Man.
You went to Rico Beans anywhere
Rico Beans, yeah.
Just a window when you couldn't even walk in, just a window. I've been fucking in for a while.
Okay.
And there was nothing but police officers in there.
That's it.
So you were scared to go in there. Shit.
Yeah, leave your dope in the car.
As a young black person,
leave your dope in the car.
We grew up. We was kids when Washington was you feel like he was killed, or you feel like he died on his own?
I think politics killed him.
Politics killed him. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I've had a heart attack.
You had one?
I had one last year. September? Damn. Last year in September.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yep. I got congestive heart failure, stuff that I didn't have before I took on this job, because it's the stress of trying to fix what's been fucked up for years. There's no magic wand to fix 400 years of disrespect, 400 years of ignoring us, 400 years of us not getting our 40 acre and a mule. And so when you get into office, because of how politics change, you don't know how long you're going to be there. And so you're trying to do everything. And so that job killed him. Literally.
In 83.
That job killed him. I had Ed Burke. Ed Burke was older, been in office older than I was alive.
True.
Yeah.
And the only reason why he's not there now because of the scandal with the Burger King. That's it. Other than that, he would still be there. Mike Madigan got into office in 1974. I was born in 1975. They've had all of this time to be ingrained in this system and buy our folks out as well. Because they also piss one of them off. And see, some of the difference between me and a lot of them, I come from organizing. And so a lot of people who support me, they live in my community. They've organized with me. They know me. And so they vote for me. But if they'd have got me in office, they'd have been cut my ass. I'd have been out of office. Because that's how the Democratic Party works. You gonna go along, and when you don't, you out. They'll run somebody against you. Look at the amount. This is what I want y'all to pay attention to, people's D2s. There is a website called Sunshine. I can't think of it. I think it's called Sunshine. It's about the fundraising and the money that every elected official gets. Look at who funds a lot of these folks. And so when you see elected officials who ain't never really said nothing, talking shit, it's because they didn't got funded and got paid to talk like that. That's not where I am in my life, and I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna talk my shit. I disagree with people, like the whole migrant thing. That's a whole thing in our community, and I have stood my ground about how I feel about it. Like, I want black people to make it. I'm not gonna apologize for saying black, because we made to think saying black or standing up for our own people is a bad thing. How many of us you seen work in Chinatown? I'll wait.
None.
And you're not, and they don't fucking apologize for it. Why do we apologize for it?
Right.
Okay. We jumping here, and this is good. This is getting good because you give me some insight that I have not even thought about at all whatsoever. And I don't want to keep you. You got something you want to ask? Or please do.
I do, but
Go ahead.
but I'm letting you talk.
Go ahead.
I have a question. Actually, you touched on the migrant thing. Help me understand this curfew thing.
Okay, so the curfew. So
Hit the drum roll, please.
people love their downtown. The Magnificent Mile. If you notice any protest, think about this. When they marched and blocked those doors downtown to Laquan McDonald, you notice how fast it didn't happen those couple of days because they paid those organizers off. The city of Chicago loves their downtown, and they are going to protect it at all costs, even if it's for the life of our children. And so this curfew is about protecting merchandise that's insured in their fucking stores. Because think about this, all the millions of people who come to Chicago, where do they go first? Downtown. So it's to protect their interests. What they're not talking about is on the South and West Side, we don't have institutions of inspiration and fun things for our kids to do. So I don't got a Chuck E. Cheese. I don't got a bowling alley. I don't have anything for young people. So they go downtown because they enjoy those places. They wouldn't be downtown. I didn't like downtown as a kid. And want to know why? Because I didn't see a lot of people that lived like me, and I was made to feel like I wasn't shit because I didn't have the things that they had. So downtown was not where I want to be. There is a grown man who is on the internet starting those teen trends, and he white. Arrest his goofy ass. He is the one that goes online, puts them up, and gets young people to come downtown. We spent $1 million in CPD looking at what they gonna do and what they say, so we can get in front of it. Because they put, they on whole shit. They talk so much, they put everything online they gonna do. So
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Rewind. I need you to look in the camera right there and tell them that, because this is going to be a clip right here.
Okay.
Teen trends again?
Yeah.
Who does this?
So the teen trends are done by a white young man who lives in the suburbs. He's like in his 20s. He goes online and he tells young people to meet him downtown. He doesn't even show up. He doesn't even come. But young people catch on to it because a friend is sharing. Like, social media is this thing that's
Hit it.
catchy. It's a catch-22. You love it for having information at your hand, but you hate it because it keeps up a lot of shit. These people are social media gangsters. Like we used to say back in the day, studio gangsters, they social media gangsters. So they get on social media and talk shit, what they gonna do, what they gonna this, and the police see it. Because we spend $1 million on people sitting online just to watch what's going on.
If you know about this motherfucker doing this shit, why haven't?
Because the laws protect him. There is nothing in the law that says he cannot start a but when somebody gets hurt. But let me tell you, if it was white kids that got shot and hurt, all that shit have been broke up. No, that's not what happened. It's because it's young people that look like us. It's why this is a thing. And they don't want the people who visit in Chicago to be uncomfortable looking at a bunch of black kids. Niggas is how they see us down their town. Disturbing folks who want to visit and spend their money, because at the end of the day, all they care about is their bottom line and their dollars, not about people.
Because 2 Saturdays ago, they had one at the Walmart. They had shut the Walmart down in Country Club Hill. They was gonna have a teen trend in Walmart, a water fight, a party in Walmart.
They tell you everything they're going to do.
They closed down every interest going in that Walmart.
Yep.
2 Saturdays ago.
That's a fucking setup. That's technology setting our people up.
Ago, man. I was like, oh shit, they believe that shit?
Did you know about this?
No, I didn't.
I didn't believe they was gonna party in Walmart.
That's bombs.
They was.
They shut that motherfucking Walmart down, man. They shut every interest down.
So you weren't gonna fuck up Country Club Hill, Walmart.
That
you
was
dare
crazy.
you. But let that shit been on 87th Street.
So let me ask you this. So there was a vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yep.
So right now, the mayor is catching pushback from the police department or from the city council.
Neither. The problem is that downtown interest in those business folks are pushing him, but what we have on our side is the organizers who do youth organizers and violence prevention are saying veto that shit because that ain't gonna do nothing but hurt our kids.
Okay.
And so he's going to veto it.
Okay.
They got the votes, but look at the people these people already vote against our interests. There are some votes that I'm like, you really gonna vote for them to do a 30-minute curfew and give people 30 minutes to come from downtown, and when you don't come from downtown, they could arrest you? That's what you're gonna do? I'm shocked by a lot of it, but I'm not surprised. These people show you who they are, believe them, and so it's real disheartening, and I'm glad that he's gonna veto it. I don't know if this is the hill I would die on, because the superintendent, who was the top cop, who from Inglewood, said, I'm not gonna use it. It's not a tool I'm gonna use. I'm not gonna implement a 30-minute curfew, but also thinking about what we didn't do. So if you're saying you're going to do a 30-minute curfew, where's the CTA to get those young people on the bus to get them from down there? Where are the folks that they respect from the community organizations and violence prevention groups to say, hey, this ain't what you really want to do. Come on, let's get down there. Come from down here. And these are the things we do in the community. This is what we do on your side of the ward. This is what we have going on. We can get you jobs. We can get you, from doing this. And so there are some other things that the city could have done besides coming up with a curfew. And we already have a curfew.
Why hasn't that white boy been outed yet for setting shit up like this? For setting these kids up for failure? Even though those kids they do it.
Yeah, because they don't know who it is. You know how Facebook is. Just because that's them on the picture don't mean that's them.
He probably got an IP vanish.
Oh, I'm sure he got a ghost account.
You can't find
and
his
he probably
IP address.
and think about it, he's in his 20s.
Yep.
So he ain't that far removed from being a young person.
Yep.
And so he knows what but he's not the only one that's doing. That's an example of, because y'all talking about his black children. Now I'll talk about the white boy who's setting some of them up, who's been doing it. And they know he's doing it. And so we have to, but the law protects him as well. Because there's nothing that say you can't go online and put a teen trend together.
True.
Some of this is, and there's also some accountability on the parents. Where the fuck your kids at?
Hit it!
Why you don't know where your kids at after 10 o'clock? And don't get me wrong, I listen, I lie all the time. My grandfather was a traveling preacher. I was 14 with a kid, and we went to church Sunday through Saturday. And so I ain't gonna talk shit about a system that I was like, yeah, don't do. Let me figure out what to do. Let me touch the soul. Let me see how hot it is. So that ain't it. But there also has to be some accountability, because these parents also get tickets. When the police pick them up, they go to jail. A parent has to come get them, and there's a ticket that go with it. Nobody's able to tell us what happens when a parent can't pay the ticket. That's also another concern. And then where are you sitting these young people? You putting them in a cell? Like what is it? And so we don't really know any of that. And not that I want anybody to go jail, especially not a kid, for having fun. But if you got your ass down there and you twerking on somebody's car and you busting out some car window, your ass do the crime, you gonna pay the time. That's what it is. We gotta stop this not holding people accountable and not calling people on their shit. And so I'll call the parents whose kids, because when that young man got shot last year, the first thing his mother said was, I talked to him, I asked him where he was, I asked him where he was going, and he went downtown. Mm-hmm. But how many other parents got that story? Mm-hmm. Not a lot of them. And we as young people, we used to lie. Yeah, I'm at my friend's house. You know how many times my mama told me to don't hang at Parkway? And then I didn't realize I had a cousin that hang down there who told on me every time I went. And then I get back home, mama like, where you been? Oh, I was just at the park on 51st. No, your ass wasn't. You was in Parkway. Then I tell you, stay your ass out there, so I get it. But there has to be some accountability for those young people. What are we getting them? How are we helping the family who mama working 80 hours and shit? By the time she get home, all she know is that my kid in the bed, so I don't know what he did all day, shit, and I'm tired. I want to go to bed. And so there's some work that we all have to do.
So
Yeah.
God damn, he done threw me off right there.
He's still
He
stuck
said,
on the white boy
I am.
and the birds.
I'm stuck on that.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, no, I'm stuck on that because it just shows how much we're susceptible. I mean, we're vulnerable to a certain situation that does not benefit us whatsoever. You understand what I'm saying? Like, these kids can be so misled by a hidden figure. Now, I thought they was doing this on their own with these trends and stuff
We
like
all
that.
did.
No.
But
They ain't that smart.
she didn't bombs. She didn't expose it, about who is setting us up, which is then which also, what does it do? It creates them going to jail. That prison pipeline aspect, especially if they're doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, circling back. Give me a rewind back. Rewind again. Rewind one more time. You said Daley was a Republican in certain ways. Rahm was a Republican.
Lori was a Republican.
Lori was a Republican. Explain on that.
So Lori was a cop. She was a prosecutor. And so that's how she thought. She thought punitive. She thought throw down the hammer. Let's be tough on crime. That she thought that for real. And Lori's from Ohio. She didn't fuck from Chicago.
Right.
How was your working relationship with her?
So it's been
Don't get low
4
voice
years since
Don't
me
get
and
low-
her got into it in City Hall.
now. Don't get low voice now.
I ain't low voice. I'm just trying to figure out how to say it. And so remember, me and her got into it in the back of City Hall, and I had my finger in her face and told her to lower her voice and asked her who the fuck she thought she was talking to. I ain't her child. We are co-workers. I don't work for your ass. Watch how you talk to me. And so, but also being a black woman, I saw her cry. I saw how people tried to mistreat her. I saw how she was treated as a gay black woman. They made that such a big thing. And for me, it was like, I don't give a fuck who she sleep with. I care about how she run the city. And we as black folks, we don't got grace for each other. And so she was given no grace.
He was one of them.
Look.
Listen, I hear you.
Nat.
It's okay.
When we saw her and her old Faye,
Avatar.
we said Isaiah Thomas and Bill Lambier.
Yeah.
Hit it.
She like a big old avatar.
Come on.
Her staff just
Because, damn, stop
Isaiah
it.
Thomas and
Bill
Bill
Lambier.
Lambier. Lori
And then her pictures
the pictures.
and her Brooks Brothers
And the
suits.
walking suit.
Yeah.
We called her Lori Mo.
Lori Mo.
And
Well,
she
it's
do all
Lori Mo.
pictures like this.
Oh, yeah.
Have y'all seen the video Who Let the GDs in the Door? With me, her, and that whole interaction?
No.
I got it on my phone.
Oh.
And they like,
GD's in the door.
yes. It was a whole thing.
All right.
Good Lord. I will have to show y'all the video.
That
That
sounds
somebody
okay.
voiced over when me and her had this interaction in the back of City Council because I did something politary and said that she couldn't put in her corporation council person, and it was DMP, which means defer and publish, which means we're going to take care of it at the next meeting. And she came from off the pedestal, which no mayors ever did, and called me in the back. And when I got in the back, she was like screaming at me, and I'm like, you see me doing this, and I'm like, lower your voice and stop talking to me like I'm one of your fucking kids. And so
This was what year?
this was during COVID. This was
2020. Okay.
No, this was No, this was during COVID, because look how the seats was. No, this was during COVID, because remember, nobody else was in the city council at the time but the news reporter. So this was during COVID, but I actually had to sit in the back because they didn't have us sitting all together because of COVID. We were kind of sitting like in the back where normally folks who come to watch sit. So we were all, and so it was during COVID that this happened, and it went viral. People talk so much shit. Oh, 2 black women. They like she probably a gay lover. They said so. They like dragged us. They dragged the fuck out of me and her. They dragged us, and like shout out to Maze Jackson, because he the one checked them. Like
Maze Jack.
He checked them. He was like, I dare y'all say these black women are out of control because one woman was checking them. And me and her got into it about Jeanette Young. And so she was a social worker who they raided her house while she was naked, and she was trying to tell them that the person that they looking for are not in this house, and to come to find out he was on house arrest at 2 apartments over. Yeah. And so they didn't want to settle with her case and was going to dismiss it for a technicality. And I was like, no, we can't do that.
I remember that.
That made national news.
Absolutely.
She was on. That was one of the most wretched things to look at on video.
It sure was.
That could have been any of our sisters. It could have been our mama. And just think if she didn't say anything, if they would have pulled out their guns. Yeah. Now that we got these body cameras, we got a little bit more accountability. It's not a lot, but it's a little bit more. Because if them cameras would have been there and she would have been all this, they would have killed that black woman. Yep. Remember, they had just killed Breonna Taylor.
Yep.
Speak about Lori's tenure and you being an alderwoman up in conjunction with her tenure.
I felt like, while I didn't agree with her politics, sometimes you can't, if you ain't born and bred it here, you don't get Chicago. And so, like, some of the stuff that she was doing as a rookie mayor, I couldn't get with. I couldn't agree with. And my first meeting with her, and I told her, I said, I don't agree with your politics, but I want us to have the conversation. I want us to be able to work together. And I want us to agree to disagree. And she, low-key, turned into a bully on a lot of us. But what I will say, she wasn't that pay to play. Either you voted with her or you didn't vote with her. It wasn't no, I'm going to give you some shit because you voted with me, what Rahm and the Dailies have done for decades. You vote their way, you vote with them, you got stuff in your ward, you got streets done, you got money for projects. She didn't do it. She was the first mayor to actually do it. Yep. And so I got respect for her. I look at her totally different now that she's out of politics, but I also, she had a lot against her in the beginning. And the only reason why she got in, because it wasn't a We Love Lori, it was anti-Tony Prewinkle. Let's call this what this is.
Yeah.
Okay, so how was she able to, you say that, but how was an outsider able to get elected? That's not
because people
Chicago.
Want something different. When you find out politics can be different and you see other cities and other municipalities doing things different, you want something different. And so remember, they used to call Tony Prewinkle Queen Sugar. But I think people also forgot that she was an alderman. And she was an alderman that gentrified a community. And so they didn't want that. They thought that she was going to get in the city and gentrify. And so they used to call her Queen Sugar. They had so many things for her. But her being a Cook County Board president was also a downfall for her because a lot of the community organizations didn't like her and felt like she wasn't accessible as she could have been as the Cook County Board president. And so with Ann, we just hate to see black women in politics.
Hit it.
Yeah, because I worked for the Park District. Ron was a motherfucker, boy.
Your area, I want to go back for a second. Your area is Damon all the way to where?
Marshfield all the way to Dorchester. So that's a little past Ashland. So I'm a couple of blocks past Ashland. And then I'm right before you get to Stony in the remap. I used to go all the way to Stony, but now I stop at Dorchester after the remap. I kind of didn't want to deal with the whole Obama Center thing because that is political. A mess in itself. And
very political, I bet.
Yeah, they only do this shit in our community. They took Cornell Drive. Y'all took a whole drive. So black people who lived in South Shore and close to the lake who would take that way to get home, you took that whole drive away from them.
Yeah.
You wouldn't do that shit up north. Y'all only pull this shit. Listen, the Barack Obama, the Obama Foundation got that land that they're on for 99 years for $1.
Hit it.
Let that sink in.
I missed my cue on that one. I was 1 second delayed on that. Go ahead.
99 years. Where the hell else you can't get a bag of chips for $1? Remember you used to have three bags of chips for $1?
Hell yeah.
Not no more.
That shit's $2.39 now.
I was just about to say shit, $1.49 for that little bitty ass bag. And so think about that. Only in our community. And even folks who are, I call elitist or black dollars, black money, didn't want it because they saw that the cost that it was going to cost the community. And so I live on 64th in Maryland. 4 blocks away from where I live, they built 2 homes for $964,000. Who in the fuck is that for when the median income in my ward is $25,000?
Right.
Who is that for? I can't afford it, so if y'all see me on the corner, just wave and keep going, because I'm not going to be able to afford to live in my own community. And I'm an elected official. So imagine what the everyday folks who getting up to go to work, how they feel and how they struggling. Because now people who used to charge $500, $600 for rent now want $1,500. Because now they could get it because people want to live close to the Obama Presidential Center. And so while that was not on Lori, that was some wrong shit. So let's make it clear.
Yeah, that was wrong.
I was just about to say, my problem with Lori is she is the reason why the migrants were in Chicago.
Hit it.
She started that fight with the governor of Texas and literally told him to kiss her ass on national TV. And he was like, yep, I'm going to kiss your ass. Take these migrants.
Hit it.
Governor Abbott.
Yep. And so while people talk shit about Brandon, he was not the person or the reason why the migrants were here.
They do talk, yeah.
Yeah, because we got black people, we got selective outrage.
Okay.
So
okay.
they know because we have the group chat. I'm kind of. We'll talk about Brandon for a second. I'm for him, and then some of the stuff I don't like. So I say that to say, is crime really down? And if it is, according to the numbers, why doesn't he get the credit for it? And why is there so many other aldermen in this city that I do follow on social media who shit on him and won't give him the credit for crime being down, and they always point to I don't know if it's an undocumented crime or unreported crime that they're saying that they're not really bringing up the truth.
Because he a black man.
Hit it.
What did I say in the chat?
Yeah.
What did I say in the chat?
Because he's a black man. He's a black man that hired a black superintendent that was from Inglewood that worked in the community, and that Superintendent Snelling does not get the love and respect that he should. Crime is down because he's making those folks go to those trainings. He's honoring the consent decree. He's holding people accountable. He's making commanders in wards that have historically not done their job and done shit do their actual job. And so he should get that credit because he's given the police superintendent. Remember, Lori's superintendent was from fucking Texas.
And nobody
So you
liked
got
him.
2 motherfucking outsiders who don't know shit about Chicago, not about Chicago. Remember, he kept saying gangs. I'm like, ain't no fucking gangs. These corner store cliques. Stop calling them gangs. These niggas don't know a creed. They ain't paying no dues. There's no leadership. Stop saying that. And so we don't get, but it's, as black people, it's because we put people in place and they've disappointed us every time because we think they're gonna get in, wave they magical nigga wand and fix everything that's been wrong for 400 years. And that ain't reality. And as black folks, because we've been mistreated for so much, we want instant gratification with our black electeds, and it's just not gonna happen because we're working in a system. We didn't set it up.
The shot spotter thing.
Absolutely.
Real hot button topic.
Because ShotSpotter didn't do what y'all think it did. We never really, and the problem with politics is we never explain to the community kind of why we make decisions and what decisions are. So if you look at we used to have an office that was right off the expressway. You know how when trucks are driving down the expressway, what happens a lot with those trucks? They pop.
Backfire.
The police would show up Every time. So imagine the police being called to the alderman's office because they think it's a shooting when it's backfire.
So that really was true.
That was true. That is true. See, they give y'all. That's the same thing with the red light cameras. They give y'all these bullshit statistics, and look at who owns them. Look who benefits from all that city money and contract. They friends. They buddies. They coonies. Like, we gotta take the blinders off as black people and stop. Y'all will believe a white elected before y'all believe me.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true, brother.
You saying they'll
I'll
believe
take it even further. I've got two really, really good best friends who've been Chicago police officers over 20 years, and they've told me they've come into neighborhoods, their own neighborhood. They'll give an order to the same people in that neighborhood to say, "Fuck you, get the fuck out of here." But then that white officer will come and tell them the very exact thing, and he'll do it.
So it's a double-edged sword. Because we know that black man, he ain't going to shoot me. That white nigga, he going to shoot me. He going to kill me. We've seen it done for no reason whatsoever. Look how they lied about Laquan McDonald.
Okay.
Look how they lied about it. Look how they lied about Breonna Taylor. Now that we have this video on these things, and also we got to talk about how the conversation, how black cops are not even really part of FOP. Because FOP is a gang in itself.
What is the FOP?
Did you know that, Jamal?
Fraternal Order of Police.
I knew that.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, they're a gang within themselves. And so you black officers don't even vote. They're not even a part of it. And black police officers, a lot of them got into it because they wanted to be in their own communities. But that don't happen. It's the same thing with black firefighters. You become a black firefighter, you don't get to fight fires in your community. They send your ass all the way up north because they don't want your black ass in their system anyway. Remember, a lot of these systems were for white folks.
Yeah.
It was the white man's welfare is what we call it. So constructions, police, and fire.
Hit it. All right. So, you brought up Brandon.
I brought Brandon up.
You brought
My guy.
Brandon up, yeah. You brought Brandon up.
West Side.
But before I get into Brandon, the when Lori got not elected, your thoughts and feelings on that?
I wasn't surprised because she made a lot of bad decisions that people tried to come to her and say, don't do this, don't do that. And she just didn't listen. She just didn't. And I get why she doing it because unlike me, I get to represent 50,000 people. She represents 50,000 people in 50 wards. And so now I didn't vote for her. Or Tony Periwinkle. I wore it in here in Washington. Like, I'm going to keep it 100.
Hit it.
I wrote here because
damn.
I made this statement and I meant what I said. Both of them was gonna fuck you. The difference is Tony Periwinkle would have said, bend over, I'm about to fuck you. Laura, you just looked up and your ass sore.
Dang.
Bombs.
That's a bar.
That's a bar there, buddy.
Make sure we clip that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So you going back, you came in at the end of ROM, right?
So I came in when Lori came in 2019. Yep.
She came in 2019. Okay. Outsider.
Damn.
Who financially backed her? I gotta ask that.
The police and elite
FOP?
folks. Yes.
Even though she was
a cop, she was the district attorney.
Even though she was fighting with that guy.
The white guy from
what's
FOP.
the white
No,
boy?
she was.
The
So remember
the fake president for the FOP, the white dude.
He fight with everybody. He loves Trump, but see how you feel now, motherfucker.
Bombs. Okay.
They was always into it.
Yeah.
He hates everybody.
Especially in the media, them two was at it in the media.
She said to them, "I got the biggest dick in Chicago."
Right.
But let me see it is what I thought.
That went national too.
She
She probably got a 14-inch strap.
Yeah, she probably got a 14-inch strap.
Yeah.
No thanks, I'm good.
I mean, she probably.
Don't do that. Please don't.
Big Bird, man. I
Bill
swear to you.
Y'all are so big.
Use and abuse, nigga.
Stop it.
I mean, just imagine. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't want to imagine.
Next episode.
Scissor.
Stop it.
Rewind. Okay. Just we had to get some laughter.
We had to, Alderwoman.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do with that?
Hand it here.
I know what you ain't gonna do with it.
Hand that here right now. Hand that here.
Hey, it's my turn now.
Y'all are mean.
You had 3 days straight. It's
Oh,
my turn.
y'all so mean.
Put that
Stop
up.
it.
Just put that up. Ain't you tired?
Go buy the Modelo beer and get in here.
Ain't you tired?
Ain't you tired?
Ain't you tired?
Y'all are the pettiest in the world. Oh my God.
Did you hear me say I like this?
We're going to the Sox game tonight, and you're gonna give me some Bob's right afterwards.
You know I hit it, right?
Stop it. Y'all stop it. It's black
I can't
men.
find it.
Y'all know better.
I know.
That's listen.
sound guy.
Their
Look at sound
preference
guy.
ain't got nothing to do with
Sound
y'all.
guy.
Lloyd, see you want to see Lloyd with an old girl, see another woman walk past. Damn, that bitch fine.
Remember the memes? Oh my
They
God.
went hard on her. Oh, they was so bad.
She grabbing
But
up-
just imagine having to enduring that. We let other people. Y'all didn't say a motherfucking word when Kenlin J. What his name? Kenlin, whatever his name is. Y'all didn't say shit when they made her Woman of the Year on Sports Illustrated. Y'all still bought that shit.
We talk about him too.
Yeah, as y'all should.
We talk
Shit.
about him too.
That was wild.
Yeah, that was
He
fucked
said
up.
he a
Woman of the year.
lesbian too. He
Woman of the year.
He got
done.
a dick
He
long
said
as
he a
your
lesbian
arm.
too.
It wasn't the same.
Hit it.
What you say?
Woman of the year with a dick long as your arm. That shit is that, man. That further lets me know this world ain't shit.
Okay, rewind. Getting back. Okay,
Y'all are petty. Oh, we.
Be able, ladies and
2015.
gentlemen.
Yes.
You did the organizing and the hunger strike.
Yeah.
Who was sending that? I gotta ask, who was sending fucking barbecues? Who do you think was sending them barbecues for them to barbecue right in front of y'all fucking
Ron
face?
Emanuel was doing that shit.
Some
It was
wild
the
boy,
mayor because
man.
remember, it was close to almost his re-election time. He put on his green sweater and y'all forgave his ass because he played ball with Barack. Y'all was cool with him and shit. Like, come on, that man was trying to end this because we went on MSM. The hunger strike went national. And so you can look at books at Tokyo and they have us in there.
Claps.
We messed up his image. But it was him. He was trying to figure. We had a media blackout the first 5 days, and so no other than black media. Shout out to black media.
Hand claps.
Shout out to black media, Defenders, Citizens, those type of places, because they are the people who picked it up. And because folks from overseas and other places were calling them, then white media picked it up. But it was him. He was, because we was fucking up his image, and he wasn't gonna have it.
And just to let you all know, Alderwoman Taylor, by her doing that hunger strike for Diet High School, 10 years later, they won a state championship.
Get it right.
Did
State
you
champ.
did that with
Correct.
Coach Crunch, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
They won
remember
a
that.
state championship. So hand claps to
State
her.
champ.
My mother works at Diet.
Oh wow.
And they brought that up on TV during the game.
So when they won the
hunger
championship,
strike.
did you feel did you get emotional?
I did. I get to work with those young people. They come to my office because it sits in my ward. I get to have a relationship with them. And when I walk in that building and see like pictures of us up and the school really talking about what we did, I am emotional because too often our young people are counted out. And so these are young people that y'all said didn't deserve to have a neighborhood high school in their community. And 10 years later, they're the state champions.
Hand claps to that.
That was dope.
Hand claps to that. Now getting back to the politics now. Give me a rewind. We're going back.
Yeah, Ron fucked up a lot of money.
I was just
man.
finna say that, man.
You said Ron fucked up
He
a lot
fucked
of
up a lot.
money.
When I was working for the park, he
fucked
had
up,
this beautification campaign.
Right.
Where what park? I was working at Euclid at the time. We had to put these big ass flower pots in front of our parks. He gave us instructions how to do it. He put them goof ass bike lines. It was just
Look at Maggie Daly Park that they built in the middle of fucking downtown.
yeah, exactly.
I saw that being built every day because my building is right across from it.
But the wildest shit though, right before he got elected, man, they asked him on one of them cable access channels, like, what was his objective? He said that as soon as he get elected, his goal is to go down to the park district headquarters, and he brought in justification of your job at the time, because everybody down there was making anything in that building down there on Fairbanks. We were making 100,000 easy. He went in that building, man, and walked into the secretary. I never forget. They said she walked into him and said, "I need by Friday for you to justify why you making this amount of money. If not, we're gonna put you in the field."
Didn't Trump just do that?
Shit
You
crazy.
saying, But you saying he a Democrat. You just proved my point.
When Rob came,
Remember they hired the guy from the Bears who wasn't qualified to see the fucking seat?
Yeah.
Like, did this nigga win a championship ring or something?
He the reason I got fired.
Was there?
Motherfucker.
You brought up Edmund Burke. You brought up Ed Burke.
Yep.
Anybody that's still left over from those years that's still there, or was he the last one?
I think he's the last one. A lot of them are 20-year. But Burke was there for the Vidoliak 9, 10, whatever the fuck they call it.
Right.
But yeah, he's the end of it.
How was your interactions with him?
He called me a nigga. So the first time that I ever spoke at city council, I talked and I like had this anxiety attack kind of where I needed to get out the room, and so I spoke and then got up and we're going to the back, and so he was already in the back, and it's in the back of City Hall. If you ever been back there, it's tables, it's chairs, lobbyists and those type of folks right there. And after I said whatever it is, and I don't even remember what I said, I walked in the back, and as I'm walking in the back, he said, "Where they get this nigga from?" And when he turned around and saw me, and from that point on, I never talked to him. When he left and they stood up and hand clap, I sat down. I didn't get up and I didn't clap because I knew who he was and I know how he felt about me. He's like, "How does this nigga get down here? Like, who she think she is?" And that was his attitude toward me the whole time. Which is why my first time around, I never got picked for a committee or was a committee chair or vice chair. Normally what mayors do is they'll put their seasoned people there, but they want to put the freshmen so the freshmen kind of learn. And I wasn't given that opportunity. You know, he was I can't remember if he was the finance or budget chair, but he was there for a very long time. But I'm going to tell y'all something about Lori Lightfoot. She the one knocked that nigga off his pedestal.
Hit it!
Because she snatched that seat from his ass, took all his power, and was like, "Yeah, you just a regular member." And not a mayor would have ever done that. She didn't give, and sometimes I have to give her respect for 10 toes down, because she was like, "You will not disrespect me. You will not talk shit to me. You will not overtalk me." She knocked his ass right off his throne. His throne. She was not playing with him.
See, we got this. Like you said, it goes back to that thinking and that mentality. Like, that white is right, brown is brown get around, black get back type mentality. You would think that those two, or she would not have get into a conflict with him because of his tenured.
They had already talked shit about her before she got in the seat. So you had other aldermen who supported her at the very beginning, and they would go around talk shit about what seat they was gonna get, what power they was gonna get. She didn't give them no seats. So she came in to change the dynamics of how Chicago politics works. And I don't think people clearly understand her role she played in that.
And people voted for that. People
wanted that. People wanted to see something different. They got tired of the same old people running the race. You got people who run every goddamn election. Willie Wilson runs every goddamn time. Good Lord. Willie. I wish he would just go sit his ass some down there.
Oh, with the do-dot days.
Don't he sound like...
Why do you think... That's a Republican now. I agree with you right there. That's a Republican right there.
Don't he sound like Sylvester?
He said, he started singing and shit like
he was a preacher.
But he's giving out free gas though.
So his church was on 51st and King Drive. And so when we first went on the hunger strike, we asked him could we be in his gate because we wanted to be safe. He told us no. He's like, "No, y'all not bringing that on church." So us going on a hunger strike for a school for our young people, we're asking you, can we be in? He's like, "No, you're not doing that. I don't agree with that. They need to close those schools." So that's what y'all was voting for.
Willie said that?
Yes.
Damn, Willie?
Willie wild boy, man.
Your interactions, what other interactions have you had with Willie besides
So
that?
his campaign office was next to mine. So he had a campaign office on 66 in Cottage Grove. Y'all know the Pink Flamingo that used to be there. Mm-hmm. So right before that, it was a space. I had that space, and right next to the Pink Flamingo was an empty space. His campaign people came to my office, took all my signs down, and put all his signs down. Me and him had never met. We had never talked. And so as they was putting that shit up, my people was taking it down. And I said, until he comes to have a conversation with me, we cannot talk. What he did was, he had this event for everybody that was running, and anybody that showed up, he gave $1,500 to. Because he wanted to pretend as if he had the backing of all these black aldermen. And I wasn't going to that shit. And I don't want your money. Because I know what you think about that man. He was a businessman from Mississippi. He knew nothing about Chicago. And he just wanted the power and made black folks believe, when I get up here, everything gonna be black. That's not how it works. That is not how this system works. And anybody who goes in and says that's how it's works, they lying to you. They selling you a pipe dream.
He sponsored a lot of little leagues. That's what it is.
And he used to give away turkeys and that gas shit. Like, we can't be turkey, ham, and toy people no more. We can't do that. We can't do that. And I'm not one of those.
You heard it. You heard it here first.
That's the time.
Working title number one.
You cannot be what?
A turkey, ham, or toy alderman, elected official. Because you give away turkeys, you give away ham, and you give away toys at a toy drive. That means you get to get my vote. No, what the fuck are you doing to better my life? Don't give me the, because that's just, those are and let me say this.
Say it.
Because I can say it. Yeah. I've stood in those lines for those turkey no ham, but that don't mean I'm gonna vote for your ass. Because that's why they do it. Why you think he giving away free gas? Because it's a tax write-off, number one.
Them motherfuckers' lines was long as hell. They was lined up on purpose.
But he thought it was going to guarantee that you vote for him, because historically that's what we've done as black folks. And it had worked before. Think about Good Times. I'm going to go back to that. What do you do? It's the same thing. It's the same mentality. And so we're moving away from that, and we actually have expectations for elected officials. We're telling them what we want to see. We're working with folks to say what the laws should look like. You do not have to create policy that helps one set of folks but fucks over another set. We don't have to do that. They've done that for decades.
Define socialism.
We control the institutions in our community. Real simple. You can't build no hospital without the people in the community. You should not be building buildings without talking to the community. You should not be running a business unless the community knows about it. That's what socialism is. It's the ability for us to control those institutions. Not all that other shit that y'all bring up about sexuality and no, that's not what socialism is. Get a dictionary and read. I believe paying my tax dollars gives me the ability to say how institutions should run in my community and how they should treat me, no matter what I make, no matter what I look like.
That makes sense.
So then, your ideology was being socialist. Have you been watching what's going on in New York so far?
Oh, absolutely, I have. And I also saw one of my coworkers say the Democratic Socialists are the worst thing that's in City Hall. No, that ain't what's worse than City Hall. That's racism. White supremacy is the worst thing that's happening.
Hit it.
And so we got to be able to, when they say stuff to us about being socialists and having these labels, we got to question them. We never question them. We just go along with what they say, and like it's law. It's not. It is not. Look at my record. Look at my track record. Look how I vote. I literally said in the city council meeting when it came to the migrants, I'm not going to hurt people who have not hurt me. But when somebody going to fucking help back people? I meant what I said, and I stand 10 toes down. And for all these motherfuckers that be talking about the migrants taking this, the migrants ain't taking no fucking thing. We helping them. Y'all want to see them in the streets? Y'all want to see them in the police stations? Black people, we have this thing with us where we care about everybody, but we need people to be real allyship, and that's been the problem. We stand with everybody. We stand up for everybody. We take up for everybody. Motherfuckers need to do the same thing for us. That black woman told y'all what Trump was gonna do at every step, and because she was black and a woman, y'all chose. So with the other 92%, I'm gonna watch this motherfucker burn. Burn, baby, burn. I don't give a shit. Don't ask me to march no more. Don't ask me to come to your rally no more. Don't ask me to do none of that shit no more. Because we tried to tell y'all, and y'all don't listen to black women. Y'all don't listen to us. We are unheard. Listen, we are always made to fix everybody's shit, but who fixed us?
Told you.
Okay. Give me a rewind.
All that blackfish shit. What the?
I got a real serious problem.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
You do.
I got a real serious problem. The other day, last week. Give me a drum roll, please. You touched on the migrants. you touched on immigration, the migrants, and everything, and how it started with Lori, and now Brandon has encountered that, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. At first, I was like against the migrants, and because I didn't like white folks sending the migrants up here. I didn't like that shit. Texas is big enough for them to have that.
Absolutely, and they already a Latino state.
Correct. But last week, Coach B, Net, and Sound, and everybody, what went viral was these clips of 3 or 4 different black people going at Brandon. I have a serious problem with the Chicago Flips red people.
Absolutely, because they don't understand. They don't understand white supremacy. But those are also people who have been beat up by the system so long, they flipping because they've trusted Democrats. And see, let me say this. I talk shit about Barack Obama. I do. First black president, born and raised in High Park, or lived in High Park, Chicago native. I wanted him to paint the White House black. I thought he would. But what the fuck did we ask him to do? A lot of us voted for him because he was black. Let's keep it 100. We did. We voted for him. But what did we demand? What did we ask for? What did we organize to get? We didn't. And so this thing about what would you have Brandon do? He made a decision, and his decision was based on him being a black man and the black country that they drug him to, that he'd been fighting for years, to not hurt people that had not done shit to him. But while those people are talking about go red, y'all gonna be on the fucking, y'all gonna be picking cotton, or they gonna be bombing where y'all live.
Hit it.
Let's call this shit what it is.
She gets on. She has made it a rallying cry. I said to myself, I'm saying to the guys, they just selling motherfucking hoodies and shirts. Like, do you see Chicago flipping red?
It's not going to, because this is...
Don't get low voice now.
Oh, I'm not getting low voice. Don't. That's not what you're going to get. I'm thinking about how much I'm not going to cuss.
It's a heavy set girl.
Zoe Lee.
Yeah.
I know Zoe Lee. But Zoe Lee and the other sister, what's her name?
I'm talking about that light-skinned Danielle broad.
Her too. Well, yeah, they.
So let me tell you, so Zoe Lee is upset because
about that
they
property.
took her. Absolutely, same thing with Miss Jessica. It's because they took their property.
Wow.
These other folks are saying that Democrats have never done right by us. I'm going to go on the Republican side. What the fuck have you asked them to do? And how do you support black electeds? See, we talk shit and we help black electeds get in office, but we don't support them. We leave them. We don't work with them. We don't hold them accountable. We are not wrapping our arms with them and saying, hey, don't do that. Like, let me tell you, you're going to pick your poison. Either you're going to go with the unions or you're going to go with the corporations. I am blessed enough to have some union money, but also have a community folks who put their money into me. I don't like taking money from developers. I don't do that. I ain't took no money from no corporation. Check my D2s. I'm not doing any of that. And so, but that's what politics has been for so long. I tell people all the time, when I'm hood rich, you can about get anything out of me. That's when I get my taxes, for you niggas who don't remember. And so I support folks.
I know.
I don't want to say the motherfucking whales. I ain't thinking about what y'all doing with the dogs. I'm thinking about what elected official is going to get office. What good person can I get in this space who's going to advocate and tell truly what happens in this system and in Chicago and in the politics and the government, that's going to tell me the truth so I can plan my next move. We don't do that enough, and so we just got to have some honest conversation with us. And some of these folks need to go sit their ass down. You been in office. Danny Davis, Congressman Danny motherfucking Davis, has been in office longer than I've been alive. Sir, it is time for you to go sit and have several seats. And we don't mold young people to take these spots over. We just stay in them forever. Let me tell you something. There's this gentleman, his name is Judge John Steele. He was an elected official and he got pushed into being a judge by the dailies. That's how we got. And so he's a mentor of mine. When I first met with him, he said, what's your exit plan? I'm like, Judge John Steele and lost his damn mind. What you mean? I ain't even older than you. What you mean? He said justice is not going to come quick enough. You're going to take this bullshit home to your family. You going to see the solution and nobody wants to listen to you or hear you. And you're going to want to work with everybody to change your community. And so you can't stay in this or you'll become angry and bitter and upset and hurt. And you'll be stressed the fuck out. And so what's your exit plan? And so I got one more term in me. I'm doing 3 terms because after your 3 terms, you get your 2 pensions. Well, you don't get 2 pensions no more. You get 1 pension now. But after I do my 3rd term, that's it. I'm walking away.
Because have you done that? Have you been angry? Have you taken it home?
Listen, I've cried. I've screamed. I went to hotels. I call them staycations and cried the whole time. I never was a person that smoked or ate edibles. I eat fucking edibles because I'm so stressed out. I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. 2 coolers to get me swayed and shit. So, hell, give me a shot.
Give us some cut water.
Some cut water.
Oh, hell no, I ain't drinking that shit either. That's like Mad Dog 2020 in the can. No, I'm good. But I do go home and stress. And
2 of them motherfuckers had me.
when you feel like you're in it by yourself and you don't have people who understand politics, it's even harder. I can't go to my coworkers and say y'all full of shit. I can't go to them and say y'all the fucking reason why. Y'all what's wrong with the black community. And I'm into it with the Black Caucus all the time because we got 20 votes and we don't even understand our power. But also I know that those people live their comfortable lives and they don't want to get that shit up. I don't care. I know what it's like to live in one of the richest countries in the world and go to bed hungry after feeding my kids. That's not a reality I want other people to see, but I'm willing to go hungry if it means my brother gonna eat, if my sister gonna eat, if these other young people gonna eat. Like, we gotta be able to make sacrifice for the shit we want to see. And it can't be, I'm gonna be in office 30, 40 fucking years. Turn it over. Let these young people take it over. Now, I don't really know if these was the young people Whitney was talking about, but shit. We gotta be able to bring, everybody in my office is under 40. Everybody. I got the youngest staff in the city of Chicago. And that's intentional. That's because they need to be there to make the mistakes. They need to see how politics works. They need to be able to see how politics affects their lives. And so when people ask me to have conversations, talk to young people, I do it because who else will teach us? Yeah. The folks who were under Harold, and Harold was the lesson. If y'all don't remember anything else I say, Harold Washington was the lesson. He figured out how to get a rainbow coalition of people together so that he could get into office, and he made sure everybody was working and everybody was eating. And the stress of the job killed him because they wanted so much more for him to do, and he just didn't get to do it.
What was his famous slogan at one time?
Take the money and vote for me.
Take the money, vote for me.
Damn. O Block is in your
It
your
is
area?
Parkway Gardens.
Shit. Oh, hey, a lot of people come here to look at O Block.
And a lot of people that got shot looking at O Block and robbed.
When you,
a lot of what you call them.
Were you instrumental in getting that mural taken down?
So no, I was against them taking the mural down because what people don't know is that store owner used to feed King Von when he didn't have nothing, when he was hungry, when he didn't have the money to go buy. And so he supported that business, which is the reason why they put that mural up. And so it came down because the city was pressuring that store owner. Not Alderwoman Taylor. Let me make that clear. We did this community vote where elders, everybody, as long as they lived in that space, got to say they wanted to see the mural stay. They voted, and I left the mural alone. I wasn't going to go after that store owner.
What nationality was the store owner?
He was an Arab man.
Bing bong.
He don't know those prompts anymore.
You don't know those? Bing bong.
Okay.
Yeah, he was, but think about this. The person that helped put me on, the person that fed my family when I didn't have any money, the person who support, and he does that for a lot of families. It wasn't just him. Mm-hmm. And so this is his way, was honoring this young man who didn't even get killed in the city of Chicago. He got killed. Yeah, absolutely. And
how was your relationship with Corey Brooks?
I got respect for Corey Brooks. Now, I'm going to say I was mad at him for taking the fucking skating ring. Because remember, his church was a skating ring. Yeah. So I didn't like his ass at first. He does some work. He has some work to do, but he's also Republican.
Very Republican.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with Alderman Raymond Lopez?
Here we go. God damn it.
Me and Raylo, we don't agree.
Hand claps.
We don't agree with each other, and You got self-hating elected officials, and he is one.
Wow. Is he a Republican?
Now
too?
we talking.
And-
Yeah,
Now we talking.
Yeah, he is. Look at, what I need y'all to pay attention to is people's voting record and who is voting for him. The majority of people who are voting for him are black folks. Because the Latino folks in his community hate him. Now, me and him have
heard
done...
it there first.
This is true.
Say it one more time. The Latin folks in his district, or
Hates him.
his what's the name, is what?
Latino, they hate him.
This is true.
Hit it!
Hey, every year they fuck up his office.
Bombs!
But they also don't vote either. See, we vote, which is why... And he will fix up, if you go in certain parts of his wards where the black folks live, the streets are done, they get everything they need. He does right by those folks.
And which streets are
Those
they?
are the black, this the black part of his ward.
You
Because
know-
remember, he has a half and half ward. So part black, part Latino ward.
Where's this black part at? I'm asking you.
So he represents like 47 and hosted.
That redistricting shit is so weird.
It is because one side of hosted is mine. On the 47 side, on the 46 side is his. We got to have a conversation about census and redistricting because that was a process that I was in. I did not know what I was doing. It's the people who have been doing it kind of made the decisions. You kind of said nay or yay, but they literally drew it. I didn't draw shit. All I learned was how to fight and argue doing. And let me say this: in every space that I've been with these elected officials, I've learned. And so I went into it wanting to learn, not acting like I know. Acting like I had to throw away everything I thought and actually learn from them in that space. And so I've learned a lot from them, but doing the census and that redistricting shit, I didn't learn nothing. All I learned was whoever got the majority of the votes, that's who was going to get the district they want, and that's what it was.
Kennedy King is not in your ward, right?
It is. So the theater and the restaurant is on my side of the ward. The other side is Stephanie Coleman, 16. So she has the actual school and that field. I have the other side.
How many? It might be a lot. How many schools in your ward? Grade schools
And high schools.
So I have 6 high schools.
Diet.
I have Diet. I have Richards. I have Urban Prep. I have Johnson Prep.
Richards. Where's Richards at?
And I have the University of Chicago. Richards is
high school
west.
Richards?
Richards in the Latino neighborhood. Yeah, that's part of my ward.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
6
the
of
back of
them.
the yard,
and-
right?
High
Yeah,
school,
that's back of the
yeah.
yard. And I represent some of New City. Y'all call it Motown.
Yeah, because I went to Hell's, Francisco.
Oh wow, that's close now.
Yeah, it hurts my feelings to say that.
It should. My cousin went to. Did he go to hell?
It's called IATS.
It's called Abandoned Building.
I was just there Sunday.
Not in my ward. It's in the fourth ward.
So
It's
when
not
they
in my ward.
when they want to come open up a business in your
Yes.
ward,
They don't talk to me. That's the misconception. They go to what we call BACP, which is Business Affair and Consumer Protection.
They don't talk to the alderman?
No, unless you're asking me for a zoning change or TIF dollars or bond money. You don't come talk to me at all. You go downtown, you deal with those folks, and you get a license. The only time that it comes to me is when it's liquor, marijuana, or that zoning change. That's it. There are so many misconceptions when it comes to. So there are businesses that open up my ward. Now they send me a list. After the people do everything that they want them to do, they'll send me a list. They send it every 6 months to say these are the new businesses or these are the businesses that are registered in your ward.
Okay.
But I have no say so of business coming and going in my ward. No, that's a misconception.
So on 55th, the whole 55th. Go ahead.
Automatic prerogative. That was something Lori implemented. So even if I say no, so remember I said no to the migrant shelters. Automatic prerogative gave her the space, and them niggas voted for it. I didn't, and so she could override what I say.
55th is your the whole strip of 55th is yours.
No, I start at Calumet. So
Calumet.
55th and King Drive to Calumet, that little strip right there, that's actually part of the 3rd ward. Everything down until you get to Halsted on 55th is mine. On that side, on the south side, not on the north side. The north side is the 3rd ward, and then it runs into the 15th ward.
So does your area, your ward, what's the main grocer over there? Is that lacking over there?
It's Jules and Aldi's. That's really all we have. We lost the Food for Less was something I shared with 16. We have nothing, and we're in the talks of getting Living Fresh, which is in
Hand claps.
Forest Park.
Yeah, we're working with the Winstons,
That's
the
the church
daughter,
I go to.
to get them to build a store in our community. Yeah.
That's dope.
And where would it be
That's dope.
built at?
So we're thinking about on 63rd, right off King Drive, where that Save-A-Lot used to be. Or there's this where Rothschild's used to be, and then there was another big grocery store that's on 63rd and Vernon.
Hand claps on that.
That was in 16. That was in Stephanie Coleman.
So that was Stephanie Coleman's. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
You mean whole paycheck?
Right.
That shit was high.
You're saying you're gonna put one. You're thinking about putting a Living Fresh, right where the Save-A-Lot was.
So there are a couple of different spots we're looking at, trying to put it in, but we want to bring a black grocer there. We need it because all we do have is these corner stores and gas stations in my community.
They would do well too. Living Fresh is.
Oh, it's dope. We
it's
visited
dope.
them. We've taken
It's
the lady that's the head of DPD. There's a black woman named Sierra Boatwright. She's the commissioner of the Department of Planning. We took her and she was very impressed to look at what they turned this mall into this multi-million-dollar thing that they got, where they have all of these business incubators. They got a church in there.
They got the whole thing, man.
They have a restaurant. Like Bill Winston and Miss Melody have done an amazing job, and so we're trying to get her to, and she's agreed to it. There's some work that we need to work out to get her zoning, figure out which one of those sites we're going to use. We're going to have some community meetings around what the community kind of wants the store to look like, because what they want to do is tailor the store to the community. And so we're excited about that.
He talks about that. Like he said, even though I'm in Forest Park, he was like, my reach touched a lot of people in Chicago.
Yep.
He talked about that.
Okay, but why wouldn't you want to put somewhere on 55th, like that main artery street?
Well, 55th is kind of access. So think about this. We got the thinking about income. So that's Washington Park. You got some stores that's there. Where is there really space to put that? Where would you put it?
Oh, you said on 55th?
Mm-hmm. Where would you put it?
Halsted is not you, or Halsted is you, right?
No, I don't go. Am I on 55th and Halsted? No, not anymore. I got remapped out of that part.
See, it's so with this redlining and redistricting and all this other and everything. And you said Norfolk Southern has all.
They own a lot of property in my ward. I hate them. Oh God, I hate them.
What's wrong? They offered you some Jordans and you was like, nah, fuck
Some
that.
Jordans.
They used to send me a $5,000 check to my. When you get political donations to your campaign, that cannot come to your city office. They used to mail it to my city office, and I shred that shit every time.
Hit it.
And finance. They're not supposed to do any of those things. And so they literally said, knowing you can't even give me a donation in my government office. They make it very clear. You cannot do any of those things in your governmental office, because they are separated. They used to do that all the time. And they didn't do right by those families. I hope we understand that they displaced 700 families in Inglewood because they were tired of them hitting the freight trains on merchandise that is insured.
Hit it.
I'm going to say that again for the people in back. For merchandise that's insured. I got a relative that works there. They used to put bait trucks in there for them. They would drop Jordans in the middle of the space, the trailer where the railroad is, and there's a protocol you're supposed to do when a truck or a train drops something. They would leave it there just to see if the associates would steal them. And these $200, $300 shoes you can see on the street. Some people, and they would get fired for it. But they did that. They used to put bait trucks in our community all the time. We talking about $1 billion, the biggest railroad in the country.
Okay, you asked me where I would put on 55th. I can't think of nothing because they got all majority of the fucking area.
Absolutely.
They got up until you say you're up there until Halsted though, right?
Well, I'm.
You have 39th Street now?
No, I don't go that far.
43rd.
Yep. 40. It depends on 43rd what side. So on the side where Wentworth and Princeton is, I go to 42nd Street. 42nd, 41st.
So why not put the Living Fresh where them project buildings was to be at?
That's not where people are asking for it from. And we're thinking about 2 locations. And it takes time and money. And there's a lot of paperwork and things to do with building a grocery store. Like we know that's one of the things that people want to see. And so we got some community work to do it, because the problem with institutions in our community is if people don't feel like they had a say so when you're building it, it'll close because they won't support it. They'll feel like this is a foreign institution that came and intruded in our community. I need y'all to know black people are funny like that. We just are. And so if they're not a part of the conversation and not talking about how it gets built and what they want to see and what, they're not going to support it.
How are you dealing with developers who want to come in and bring it and put up these new houses, these new townhouses, these new developments, knock down the old brick store. I mean the brick three flats and abandoned buildings and everything and stuff like that.
I have no control over it. It's another thing that I don't have control over. And so if a developer buys a lot from the city of Chicago, if they don't need a zoning change or asking for tip dollars, I don't got to say so over it. So it's why they built those 2 $964,000 homes. You think I would get that built when the median income in my ward is $25,000? No, I have no say so over it. There's a lot of things that you all think aldermen have the power over, and when it was majority white, they did. When they realized our black people would vote us in office, they slowly took away the power. So like we have the city council of the city of Chicago has no financial control over Chicago public schools, over the park district. We give tip dollars and money to fund those projects and do that, but we have no say so over how they spend their money or do any of that, because the mayors who have been in place have done Republican shit to make sure they control the institution, and that the people who are actually elected by the people for the people have no say so.
How many female sit in office, city council?
10 of us. Let's see. You got myself. You got Pat Dow. You got Stephanie Coleman. You got Monique Scott. You got Nicole Lee, you got Sam Nugent, you got Maria Hatton, you got Julia, you got Julia, you got Tobias.
That's the one, Raymond.
And Deborah Silverstein. So about 11 or 12 of us.
Raymond been going back and forth with Julia all the time.
Huh? Oh, and Angela Clay. So about 12 of us.
Okay.
I said Stephanie.
Okay. So it's 12.
Raymond going back and forth with Julia all the time.
Yeah, all the time, yeah.
Because their wards neighbor each other, and she is progressive and he is not.
So you're progressive also?
I guess you can call it that.
Okay.
Listen, I am a person who believes in we can't do politics the way we've been doing it. So if that makes me a progressive, I'm a progressive.
Has that been hard eradicating that mentality out of it? Have you seen that?
No, they like business as usual. See, majority white aldermen only are going to vote in their interests. And they will vote against us for shit that we actually could do to move our communities and make them better. And so it's too much of this, all I care about is what's in my ward, instead of us saying, let's make sure all the wards are taken care of. Why we can't have wonderful things on every side of the city. It don't work because they don't want it. This country is dead set on us never having anything. And we got to stop depending on it, though. We got to go back to building Wall Street. We got to go back to taking... I don't give a fuck who in D.C. Because at the end of the day, I know if I'm hungry, it's going to be some black mother, some black organization that's going to help me out, and we can figure it out. We got to stop spending our money with them. We got to stop dealing with them. We got to be builder. And we got to be okay with saying we want black institutions and we want black communities. They made us think black is a bad word. They made us think it's bad for us to support each other. They made us think that it's bad for us to develop on our terms and our way. And we got to stop. You said it earlier. We think white is right.
Okay.
White is white.
It's majority of the people that in your ward What's the age range that supports you the most?
At first, it was, I'll say, the boomers and the Gen X. In this last race, it was Gen Z, millennials that supported me. People were.
Are you all Gen Z?
No, they millennials.
Millennials, okay.
Millennials.
Now, Gen Z is the age range of what? Shit gets so confusing because they be
It's
changing
like
shit
those. Yeah, anything after 95.
around. Anybody after 95?
After 95?
They're so they are on the
Yeah,
support.
young people really, because I stood up for young people. I talk young people. I don't just talk it, I walk it. So they work in my office. I'm working with them. I'm talking with them. I'm organizing with them. I come to their events. I say shit to them that nobody else is going to say to them. I bring them into space. I got young people who've never been downtown, who've never been to Soldier Field, who've never been in these places, and I make sure they get there.
I got one last question for you since you brought up Soldier Field. Chicago Bears, should they get a new stadium?
Y'all can get them done by park. Them motherfuckers ain't won a Super Bowl ring since Walter Payton was alive. The fuck? Come on.
Hey,
The fuck?
She hit you with the fuck.
The fuck.
The
The
fuck.
fuck?
The fuck?
You told to an extreme Bears fan
What
right
that
there.
mean?
Listen, let me say this. Let me be. I'm never going to watch. I haven't watched the Super Bowl in forever. If the Bears are not at the Super Bowl, if the Bulls are not in the playoffs, I'm not watching it.
The
So I'm
fuck?
Chicago all day, every day. You got on Sox. I'm a Sox fan. My daddy loved motherfucking what's his name, Andre Dawson. He was a Cubs fan, and we lived on the South Side. And so I'm Chicago every day, all day. I'm not about to be giving y'all no new stadium and our tax dollars when our young people don't have access to it, and you motherfuckers can't win a championship. Y'all don't even make it. Like, come on.
So let me say this. I'm ready
The
for them to move
fuck?
to Arlington Heights. I want them to move to Arlington Heights. Because for the same reason you just said, we got more important shit to build in Chicago than to get them a stadium, and they ain't won in almost 50 years now.
And they don't invest in, like, they could have invested in the park district. They could have built fields. It's so much, and that ain't just on the Bears. That's the Bulls. That's the Blackhawks. That's all these motherfuckers. Invest in these communities that you know are not getting invested in. Take that money that you donate to these folks and build up our parks. Not the only high school in my ward that actually has a field and a track is the University of Chicago, and it's because they're connected to the University of Chicago College. We're talking about, right, I have no other field. So the diet students don't have a field. The urban preps, they don't have fields. They could have invested and bought in those fields. For the amount of talent that's come to Chicago, and for young folks that look like us are struggling, says something about the Dwayne Wade. Says something. We working with what's his name, Matt Forte. He wants to invest in a indoor sports center in my ward. I've been talking to his people.
Shout out to Matt
Right,
Forte.
like his people have been working with us. We just got him in the building. Like he really wants to. But where's everybody else? Where the fuck is Michael Jordan? Where's the way? Where are all of these people? You invest your dollars everywhere else.
God damn it.
I said what I said.
Oh, Alderwoman, Taylor.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Hooks.
The Bears have been here for 100 years.
Why you sound like a minister? Why you sound like a minister?
Wise, you are not.
That's like school days. The devil is in that locker room.
You are so petty.
Oh yeah. Why?
You gonna make me
You
lose
like
my
you
job.
like fuck it. Go ahead and go. That's what you're saying. No, why don't you? This is if
We can
this
use
is a-
that stadium to bring other things there. World soccer. Soccer is a thing. Our young people play soccer.
Yeah.
There are plenty of other things we can do with that stadium. We can have these worldwide concerts and shit. Let Beyonce do Soldier Field. Like,
She
come on,
does.
there are other things. There are other things that we can do besides leaving it with a team who does not really invest in our
don't
community.
need-
Low key, that's what keep the park dishes afloat. Them soccer tournaments, man, on
Okay,
Sunday.
but here's the thing.
Go to Arlington
And I'm
Heights.
mad you.
They come with briefcase
They
full of
want
money,
their
man.
own entertainment district. Am I correct? Why
They
not?
do. But what are you giving us in turn for using? We cannot let people use our TIF and bond money and get all of this land and we get nothing. We get a
Mom,
few tickets.
You see what the Chicago Fire did? They said, fuck the Chicago. We use our own money. Just give us the land.
But that was also CHA land where fucking housing was supposed to be built. That shit was wrong. And I'm cool with Jason Irvin, but that shit was wrong. It's wrong. We cannot do land swaps with CH housing land without having a replacement land. So it was not cool. It's on the west side, right?
No. They bought that little area. Remember where the White Sox wanted to build their park? You know where the movie theater they closed down off Roosevelt?
Yeah.
So that little area
Lot
over
87, lot something.
No.
whatever. What's that called again? Used to be
Right down Roosevelt, right off Roosevelt.
Yep.
So that little area where the trains and all that.
Yeah.
The Chicago Fire, the White Sox wanted that.
Yeah, North wanted that.
But the Chicago Fire, they got it.
Ain't that a bitch?
And they using their own money. They ain't asking the state for no help.
They got the land.
Yep.
You had to approve that though, didn't you?
I voted no.
For Chicago Sky.
No, for
No,
fire.
fire.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I voted no.
Chicago Fire. I don't know why.
I voted no.
Chicago
Check my record. I voted no.
You voted no.
Yeah, and I'm cool with Jason Irvin. I just don't believe we should be giving up land that was designated for housing, for entertainment or anything else. It should only be housing.
My old man can't stand him.
Can't say.
He can't stand Jason
Me and
Irvin.
Jason grew up together playing
I
basketball.
know you told me, but my old man, it's so much stuff. My old man can't stand him.
Y'all say the guy's a
My
slam ball.
old man called that office off.
What the fuck y'all doing over there,
man?
Irvin?
You can't win or lose with us.
And then his old lady is in the city somehow, some way too at the same time, right?
She works for.
Yeah, she's the treasurer.
treasurer,
But
yeah.
she's spending our money smart. She's showing people how to invest. She's helping people get equity out their home. She's making these banks work with us and give us loans. And so she's doing what she needs to do. See, we don't give us enough credit for things but that's also, we do a bad job at letting y'all know what we do. Because as black people, we're so used to just doing what we said we was going to do. We do it. We never celebrate and we keep moving. But we don't get to tell those stories.
Your thoughts overall on Brandon so far this in year 1.5 or whatever.
So we're actually almost on year 3. I struggle with
Year
Brandon
3?
because I knew Brandon for 15 years. I knew him when he was a teacher. I knew him when he worked with the CTU. I didn't feel like the movement was ready for City Hall. And let me tell you what I mean about that. Not that we're not smart, not that we're not intelligent folks, not that we can't do it. We hadn't been in politics long enough. It's always been a white boys game. It's always been their game. We had never been able to get in those rooms. And so I feel like we needed one more term before he should have ran. And I think he could have did a better job. He's made some rookie mistakes. He's done some great things. But it's also this thing of us wanting him to turn water into wine.
They're calling him a black supremacist.
Overnight, absolutely. We want everything now. We want everything that's been broken for all of this time to be fixed. And we want it on the back of a black man.
Yeah, they call him a black supremacist, and he wants black this.
I
and
dare
black that.
any of them get in that office and done half of the shit he's done since he's been in office.
They call him a socialist. They call him what do they say? A typical another blue city mayor, lets the city run wild, lawlessness, all that.
Because he's made it easy to access City Hall and for y'all to know the tricks and the ways of you all owning institutions, us having our own and not depending on white folks. Of course they're going to say that about the black man. And he ain't been perfect. He done some shit. I'll be like, now, why did you do it that way? I wanted him to do it different. And I will be honest. It's because I wanted that instant gratification when he got into office for him to fix everything that been broken. And he knows. But that's not the reality. Because you got to get 26 people to agree to say yes to something that he wants done. 34 means he can't veto it. And if you look at how the city council has voted between the last term and this term, it's very hard to get to 26 because everybody want to be on social media. Everybody want to be a superstar. Everybody want to claim they're the best. Think about this. Where was Ray Lowe when they voted for the parking meters? What was his vote?
What was it?
He voted for that shit. If we would have kept the parking meters, Chicago would not be in debt. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Well, it makes sense because she said we in debt now.
we've been in debt. This was the first mayor that was honest with y'all about all our debt. If you go back to when Lori was doing her budget meetings and he asked, look at the amount difference. So how we going from she saying we 70 million to he saying we 700 million? You can't get to that in 2 years. Come on, y'all. The math ain't mathing.
Yeah.
70 to 7.
Yeah, yep. 70 to 700 million, yep.
You saying you only got one more term left.
Yep, that's all I got in me.
Then you going to do state senate, right?
Oh, hell no, I'm not doing no more politics.
Why?
I'm not. I want
You say
to.
that shit now, but
I want to start an Listen, I get asked all the time. I do. I've been asked to run for mayor. I've been asked to run for a bunch of different seats.
What seats?
Politics is too hard.
Madam Secretary.
There have been talks with folks that Alexis Janulius is going to run for the mayor's seat. And so people have asked me, would I run for his seat? Would I run for mayor? Would I go to the state? Would I run for Congress? And the answer is no. No. I will help support the people who want to run. I will put my money where my mouth is for people who want to run. I will do all that. But this is taking a toll on me in my personal life. No.
Okay.
I get to be selfish. I get to say I want to listen. I'd have been married 3 times. And I'm going to be the Elizabeth fucking Taylor of my family. I'm married till I do it right. But what man wants to be with a woman who they feel like won't let you be a man? And I get told that all the time. Like, you don't know how to follow. What the fuck are you talking about? My mother was a school clerk and my daddy drove a cab. Who owed the pants to my house? My daddy. Who was the breadwinner? My mama. But I didn't know that. And so I'm not even seen as a woman a lot of times. I'm seen as you don't know how to follow. You ain't gonna listen. You like I'm gonna have to humble you. No, nigga, you gonna get humbled.
Damn.
That's what we not gonna do.
But the key-
I don't get to be soft. I don't get to be feminine. I don't get to be like these are my real nails. These ain't fake. I don't buy these motherfuckers. These mine. This grew on my hand. But when I do stuff like this, it's not seen as feminine. That's seen as you could afford to do that. Now no, these actually my mama nails. My mama could grow nails. I couldn't. The minute she died, I got her nails. I don't get to be that. I don't get to. It's so bad that I can't even go to my neighborhood Jewels and shop. Because people want, it's a street to get done. I need you to fix something. They doing this. Like, I want some normalcy and nothing about this is normal. Because I say what people been wanting to say and people been wanting to see in politics. But it's also it's tiring.
All right, let's do the name game. Let's do the name thing. You ready? Give me a drum roll, please. Give me a rewind. Come up with some names in political names. I'm gonna start first. Jasmine Crockett.
Love. One of my little she-rolls. She say the shit we all want to say on a federal level.
Okay. Your turn, Coach.
Rod Blagojevich.
Damn.
Not again. Hell no. Not again.
Yeah.
You done fucked it up already before. We're not gonna let you come back in and fuck it up some more.
Yeah.
No.
B.
I don't have nobody.
Okay, come back around to me. Preckwinkle.
Understand her now as a woman, but I still don't agree with her politics.
Coach.
The mayor of New York City. What's his name again?
Eric Adams.
Eric Adams.
Not my monkey, not my circus.
B. Can't think of one?
Nope.
Okay,
I got one more.
go ahead.
Paul Vallis.
Fucking go to hell and take everybody that you created or anybody that's in your bloodline with you.
Hit it.
Hit it! Okay, I got one. You ready? Mm-hmm. Tiffany Henyard.
Yes.
That heifer. Oh shit. Like what in the whole fuck you fucked it up for black women and young people. We were rooting. What Tyra Banks say? We was rooting for you.
But she feeding the people.
Yeah, that's what. But
she fucking over the people at the same time. Like you can't fuck over people and feed people. Pick a struggle, shit.
That was my man.
Pick a struggle.
Shit, pick a struggle. What you?
Teflon Tiffany.
But what's crazy though, the old folks and the young kids like her though.
Cause she say all the ghetto shit that they like and
the
they
old
won't.
folks love her. Like
Yeah.
my customers at Home Depot, man, they love that girl.
Mm-hmm.
And the young people. The old
And
folks
she
love
fought
her.
with a man, like my man. She went down with a man, but like practically no, she
That
didn't.
dude car wash by my house. Soon as his name, the side nigga, soon as his name got mentioned, every business he owned got shut down.
Damn.
Okay.
See, I don't trust House either. I don't trust because I feel like I said, House campaign was her. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that she did bad, he was I won't, I ain't, I can't, I won't, I don't want to hear that shit no more.
But y'all did y'all look at what they were doing before that? See, before I became an elected official, I was an organizer. I fought for those young people at Diet. I worked on LSCs. I organized. I was doing shit in my community. So before the cameras, before we had social media, I did real organizing. I had to knock doors. I had to talk to people. So we have to look at what they were doing before they got in office. Because everybody talk a good game.
Yeah. But she was a caregiver for that dude when he was dying. And she went to his bedside, and the wife said, "Sure, she was a caregiver."
Trump.
He gonna kill us all.
Hit it.
Yeah.
We are fucked with no Vaseline. Who gave this nigga the keys in the cold? Why? Y'all hate black women so much, y'all let this nigga be. Didn't he show us the first time he hated us? When people show you who they are, believed him. He showed y'all. So don't get on my Facebook crying about he took your link. He did because y'all voted for the motherfuckers.
He let Larry Hoover free though.
Listen, let me say this about the Larry Hoover thing.
There you go.
Let me say this.
Rewind. Here we go.
I want Larry Hoover to be out of jail. I feel like he's paid his debt to society. Don't bring his ass to Chicago, because these little corner store niggas gonna try to kill him to make a name for
We
themselves.
told you that. We said that.
He said what?
We said that. Me and Mike said that. He can't come here.
Yeah, he can't. He shouldn't come here.
You
But
seen
that man
Warriors,
deserves.
nigga?
There are people who have done 20 times worse than them, and they are free living. They look at the lady who drowned the kids, who killed her daughter. What's her name? Casey Anderson. What the hell her name is? I can't think of the bitch name. Casey Anthony. This woman then killed her daughter, and she walking free. He didn't organize the niggas in the streets. Had us having our communities halfway decent, and y'all locked him up because he had too much control over the young black people that y'all hate.
Wow.
When you hear about and it's one of the last things right here. When you hear about there was a resolution done by Al Green to bring forth impeachment of Trump, and you hear that 128 Democrats sided with the Republicans. What does that say? As a politician, what does that say?
You can't trust none of these niggas.
Nah, you can't.
You can't
Nigga
trust
shit.
him.
No, you can't.
Hakeem Jeffries was one of the persons that voted.
Listen, what did Harriet Tubman say? I could have freed more slaves if they knew that they were slaves. Some of you niggas, Harriet would have shot. You would have woke up free. Because you niggas, all y'all do is sell out. All y'all do is y'all want the easy way. Y'all we don't believe in democracy. We don't. Look how they cheated. Hillary got cheated out the election. Let's be honest. She got cheated. And why do we have an electoral college? Because our vote really don't mean shit. It really don't. Like, we got to stop pretending.
But then that when you say a statement like that lets people know that, maybe I don't give a fuck about voting then, right?
But if you don't, these are the consequences. 70 million people voted for like, it's so much blame and things that we got to talk about and work out as a black community. Why did they kill Martin Luther King?
Because he was getting radical and he was talking about he wanted money.
He started talking like Malcolm X.
Yep.
and he realized that integration wasn't going to do what he thought it was going to do. And he was like, let's not spend our money with their asses. Let's create our own. That's why he was killed. And so the minute that we start to pull back from these institutions and create our own, the less we dependent on the system.
Okay. All right. With that being said, can we get a part 2?
Absolutely.
Can we get a part 2 and 3?
Absolutely.
Shh, be quiet.
No, I ain't shit quiet about me.
Hey, look, I appreciate you and thank you for coming on.
Hand cleanse out.
Y'all funny. I watch y'all on TikTok. Y'all are hilarious. I be like,
I mean, we are hilarious,
I just
but
don't believe they said that.
Tonight was one of those serious things that
Absolutely. We got to talk about it more often. That's the only way we can educate people around what politics is really like and how we should inform the people. Like, if you knew putting your little $1,000 that you blow on bullshit anyway behind a person who actually gonna get in and advocate and vote for your community in the right way, wouldn't you do it?
Yeah,
I would.
When you sacrifice not buying the Jordans, not buying the clothes, not buying and let me say this, I spend good money on food. When I was on that 100 strike, I cried every motherfucking day because I was hungry every motherfucking day. But I was always willing to say when I got my income, and my income taxes was a way that I caught up on my bills. I was one of those people. So, they can't cut your lights off at a certain time. They can't cut it off between October 1st and April 1st. So I wouldn't pay none of my bills, but when I got my taxes, I paid all my bills. And so, but I also put my money behind candidates who I knew was going to get in office. And even if they couldn't make the moves that I wanted them to make, they was going to be a little bit more transparent. They was going to have a little more power, and I was going to be able to figure out how politics really works into my life.
I'm not going to pass that ordinance about the young boys can't wear them masks on ski masks anywhere like these other cities is doing.
Professional fucking time wasting. You ain't got to pass an ordinance. You make the rules of your business. Don't bring your ass in with that mask on. It's real simple. You got to do an ordinance. We waste so much.
I'm just saying, Philly did that though.
Let's make an ordinance that say any young person that makes it past the age of 18 and wants to go to college will pay for it. Sign up for that shit.
Okay.
Any young person that wants to go to basketball camp or football camp and want to do that will pay for it. Let's do shit like that.
That's great that Matt Forte wants to do that because
it's amazing.
Yeah,
I complain about that shit all the time. Like, these guys do not invest back into the community like that.
Yeah, young lady worked in my office and met him.
We should have a D1 training facility. We should have them kind of things for these young kids, camps that's in the city, not in Joliet. Like, what's the name? The Bears is throwing a camp out in Joliet. Not the Bears. Let me say this. One of the Bears players is hosting a football camp for youth in Joliet.
Like, how are kids going out there? And if they go out there, they're targets. Them white people don't want you and them and in your community. You are absolutely right. And that's why I tell people all the time, I give a big shout out to Matt Forte because his team, and it's been like 3 years we've been trying to work on it because we had to figure out who owns the building, how we get access, because this one actually belongs to the Cook County Land Bank. And so shout out to him for being somebody who wants to give back. But we got to demand that we make these people rich. We buy their merchandise. We go to their games. We support shit they do. We got to start saying to you, yeah, that's all good, fine and dandy. Yeah, ha, do what the fuck you want to do. What are you investing back in your community? And people never talk about what King Von was trying to buy Parkway. Mm-hmm. He wanted to buy it and co-op it with the people who lived there. But you ain't going to hear that about him.
Nah, you're not going to hear that about him.
Hell no.
You're not, but he was... Never mind, it's another story.
Listen... Streets is what it is. Yeah. That man had to get down how he lived. Come on. So a lot of us did something strange for a little change. Come on.
Yeah. No man butter though.
Y'all are the most petty individuals.
No man butter on the nipples though. Yeah.
Boy batter.
Yeah.
Stop that.
Reasonable English Podcast. Anywhere where you hear podcasts at. Tonight we had as we celebrate our 10th year of podcasting. We had the honor and pleasure of having Alderwoman Jeanette Taylor here, part 1. I figure we're gonna do this again a couple of more times because
Get me out the budget season. That's when all the bullshit really
that
happens.
blue wave is coming in midterms. Would you agree or not?
I think it is, but like, what does that look like? Do we just want to replace red, or do we want to put blue in? That's actually gonna do something.
Don't hold your breath. Let's just see what it's gonna look.
Don't hold your breath.
See what it's gonna look like first.
We got to be engaged. We got to be talking about it on the podcast, y'all. Y'all have an audience that you are capturing that's multi-generational, and so be the voice to talk about those things.
You'd be surprised. We got a lot of people who are pro-Trump. They look like us that watch the podcast.
Oh, absolutely. I know it.
Because what? Because he talks shit.
Yes. Remember, I told you what it was.
Because he talks
They're
shit.
infatuated with that. As black people, they're infatuated with a white man that's powerful the way he
Talking
talks.
shit like
No, they're infatuated with it because they feel like Latino people are the problem. And so he deporting folks, not realizing that he is deporting people that look like us.
Yeah.
Did y'all know that? The Haitians and the Africans and the Nigerians, these young people their visas are being taken away. They can't even get educated. And that's a whole nother conversation about their ass too. We got to talk about them at some point.
You got to open an open invite to come back.
Thank you.
Anytime you want. Come talk about the policies. Come talk about any and everything. Just let me know. I'll let the guys know, and we're gonna make it happen.
Thank y'all for hanging out with them.
We can do an earlier podcast. You know,
absolutely.
You had things going.
Yeah, I had an event.
With that being said, Coach, you want to take us out?
Hey, make sure you guys be intentional about who you spend your time with. Life is short. We're losing a lot of people. And don't put off what you can say today. Don't put off what you can say today for tomorrow. Tell people how you feel. Love on your people right now.
Reasonable English Podcast bombs! Motherfucking white boys sending up, setting niggas up.